here we are, another frenzy. How's it going, everybody?
It is
Frenzy-tastic.
going good, brother. How about you?
It has been a long day. I'm so happy to be here and I'm so happy to talk Wolfmen with a bunch of Wolfmen.
Are we all bearded today? Is this the all beard edition?
We are.
All bearded.
Yeah.
First time ever. All
We don't let
bearded.
you on unless you got a beard.
That's right. That's right. Welcome, Frenzy Knots. We're excited about this show tonight. We've got Sean here joining Adam and Oz and I, which is always exciting, and a very special returning guest, Alan of Vine Jungle Figure Factory fame. All you Motu fans, you know Alan.
Hello, everybody.
I just heard my voice come back to me just now. I don't know where that came from.
That was me. Sorry, I clicked on the link just to check it out. Check out the chat, and then didn't mute it.
I'm glad someone had an answer, because if you guys just remain silent, then that would mean that my brain is like short circuiting right now. So I'm excited about this. We got a lot of people in the chat already. I know a lot of people from Alan's crew are going to be joining us tonight too in the chat, which is exciting. And this is sort of us, getting ready, or I don't know about you guys. Actually, I do know about all you guys. But as soon as Christmas is over, as soon as the new year begins, I start thinking about Halloween again. It's an immediate thing. Everything else, every month that passes is just waiting for Halloween. And I know Alan gets right to work, probably, just like Santa Claus and the elves.
I have a weird thing where my New Year's Eve isn't January 1st. My New Year's Eve is November 1st.
As it should
Because
be.
of how my work goes, like my year kind of ends Halloween, and then I get to start the new one and all the new stuff. So
yeah.
Everybody's year has these things and cycles, and right now we're gearing up for a big trade show for haunted houses, which is at the very end of February. So we're making stuff right now in my shop for that. That's a big chunk of the year. There's always projects.
You said cycles, and I think I could be wrong here, but the cycle of the werewolf is the Stephen King story that Silver Bullet is based on. So here's to cycles. Cheers.
Cheers.
Indeed.
I actually needed some caffeine tonight because my day was so intense and long today. So
I need caffeine all the time. And I always like to drink caffeine out of my retro branded Toy Frenzy bootleg tumbler. This thing serves me all day at work. And I got to tell you, man, it's the best thing for keeping coffee hot. I absolutely love it. I have this thing up. I fill this thing up like first thing in the morning, and it doesn't actually start to cool down until like 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So like I can't complain. So I fill it up once, at the beginning of the morning, and then around lunchtime I refill it again. Coffee's still a little hot, and then it just keeps everything warm all the rest of the day. And I love this cup. Makes it even better, retro Toy Frenzy logo.
Shout out to Toy Frenzy. I kind of miss that logo is a masterpiece, Oz. Every time I see it, I got the little sticker up here, the last remaining Toy Frenzy sticker I have right here. And for those of you that don't know, oh, sorry, go ahead, Alan. Yeah,
there's something about old logos of yours or that you were associated with.
Yeah,
like you tend to like that. Iconographizes. Iconophize. I don't know what the word is, but it represents, all of like the memories I think from that endeavor, and it's they're powerful. What were you saying about that?
Iconographizes. I'm getting that made into a T-shirt. We have a lot of folks in the chat. Should we go ahead and say hi to everybody?
Yeah, definitely. I've been starring everything up, getting ready to do the rundown. All right, we have Robert Smith first in saying 19 minutes to go. Well, we ran a little bit late, but that's because I was busy doing my hair. We have the wonderful Shannon Hops. How are you doing, Shannon?
That's my wife.
All right. Welcome, Shannon.
Every time we call her out, I love it when Alan does that. That's my wife.
Yeah.
Exciting. My buddy's Customs in the house saying, evening, everyone. The Thanos Copter
All
is
right.
here saying, hey, everybody. Look at this fella right here. Vine Jungle Figure Factory pulling that double duty. And Bud is getting everybody in the mood by cranking some Ozzy Osbourne's Bark
That's
at the
right.
Moon.
What
Yeah.
a great
You know.
looking Wolfman that is.
Oh my gosh.
So
It's-
cool. And the
it's
movie Maniacs
simplistic.
figure. Ooh.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
simplistic as far as makeup application, but the teeth, the contacts, the little bit they did with his hair, and just
So
how
good.
long the hair was, gorgeous.
and
Gorgeous
and
makeup.
the space that he's in too,
Right?
definitely adds to it. When I first saw that record cover as a kid in the record store, I was like, that became a life goal for me.
Gotta own it.
To get that record eventually, just instantly like that. I was, when I first saw it, I knew that my parents would be like, "What are you?" So I kept it to myself. But yeah, love that record.
Absolutely one of the best album covers,
Mhm.
hands down. Not just
Yeah.
because my namesake's on it, but like it's really, really awesome.
And
I
it's
love
it's
that.
not a lie. Like when you look at that cover,
Right.
it is evocative of the music
Yeah.
that is on the
Oh
album.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
You know, it's like, what am I in for? Oh, that's what I'm in for. I'm down.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So good.
gotta love it.
I specifically I was so excited about making today's post because that I knew exactly what song I was gonna be putting on.
Yeah,
And yeah, it was I couldn't not put Ozzy's song on. It's just not gonna happen.
makes sense.
We've got Onryu in the house. What
All
is
right.
up, brother? Ray Black is here. And then we have the wonderful JMax77 just recently celebrating a birthday with us. He has turned 21.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday, J Mac.
I think I have a mask back here that's 21 years old.
I joke. I
I'm
say
aware of that age.
everybody, whenever it's somebody's birthday, I automatically say they hit 21. Because for a lot of people, that's the last real big hurrah. After that, you just kind of start going, oh yeah, it's another birthday kind of thing.
That's the Oz tradition right there.
Yeah.
There's one
so
thing I miss from being 21: my knees. I wish I had 21-year-old Alan's knees. And
Oh, man,
didn't
do
make
I
it.
wish. I
All
those
totally
knee
wish I had my
braces.
body back then.
Knees and back. I would
Knees,
do anything to have
back.
my 21.
Back is still pretty good. Pretty good.
You're
My
lucky,
hair.
my friend.
It'd be nice if that came back. I don't mind being bald. I actually look pretty good for a bald guy, but I gotta say, I miss it.
I'm a fan of male pattern baldness myself. I think that's the way men should go. Don't try and hide it, folks. We can see your toupee from a mile away. So just
Right.
let it shine.
I have a werewolf-related question due to the
Yes.
current talk.
Yeah.
Do werewolves age? Because there's a one theory that their regeneration keeps them young, or
Uh-huh.
they're just a person who turns into a werewolf on the nights of the full moon, and
Mhm.
that doesn't extend their life, or maybe they only regenerate when they are a werewolf.
See, that's something that needs to be explored.
Right?
A,
I was
a
gonna
werewolf
say,
retirement home movie needs to happen.
well, didn't I in one of the movies, isn't it the wolf got older, so they purposely the person who had been a wolf as they got older, they did make the werewolf have gray hair to show that he got older. Or was it the fact that it was already an old person when they got cursed and then You know,
Well,
like it reflects their actual age. Like it didn't de-age the person.
In the 80s, there was a TV show called Werewolf.
mm,
And it was they're like on their commercials they said 2 transformations per episode, like that that was their promise.
yeah.
And
I
there was
remember that now. Thank you for reminding me. I had forgotten about that
Mhm.
completely.
there were 2 old werewolves in that show, and
Yeah.
I took it as they age, but I think it's kind of like Wolverine. They age a little slower. Like that's my
Yeah.
take on it.
That makes sense. And and we saw a werewolf dad in Teen Wolf. We can't forget the
Yeah.
werewolf dad, the gray hair, the
Oh, yeah.
glasses. So yeah, I think I'd like to say that yes, they get old. And actually, I haven't seen the new Wolfman movie yet. But when they first released images of the Wolfman costume that was walking around Universal Studios that was based on the Wolfman in this new movie, he looks like an old man with a receding hairline and everything. So I like the idea of Wolfmen having receding hair. That works for me.
Yeah,
There's
like it
something
makes
about-
sense, right?
And
Yeah.
a character with a bald pate like that, even like orcs, when their hairline is way back, they have a look of toughness.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
All right, we got a couple more people here. I did highlight Robert Smith was saying
Yeah.
Wolfman time, and I dig it.
That's right.
We've got Night One in the house with all the emojis, loving the wolves. And you can't have a horror / like Wolfman show without summoning the Duchess of Darkness here with
Good
us.
to have you here, Duchess.
Thank you for joining us, Duchess. This is definitely in your realm.
And,
we have
and-
Aaron Davies, if I remember correctly.
Hi,
go ahead.
Aaron. Good to see you. I was just going to say, right after you mentioned Duchess, I was going to say that it reminded me just to let everybody know, hey, Bobby is taking a break from the show. In case you're wondering, if you popped in, you haven't been here for a while. Bobby's got is taking a little bit of a break, and I know Bobby would have something to say about Wolfman because there's a ton of werewolves in his Decker Northcutt case files. So he may even have an answer about receding hairlines for Wolfmen. So we'll have to catch up with Bobby afterward.
You know what I love about what Bobby's done with the wolves too? It like makes total sense in his world. If you guys have not been catching the Decker Northcutt case files, make sure you go over to Bobby Dangerously's channel and go check those out.
Definitely.
The wolves, right? Werewolves sometimes are seen as pack animals, just like actual wolves are. And so in Bobby's world, he wrote the werewolves in as a mob, which is also like, you know, a pack of humans. It's like, it just fits so perfectly, so well.
It's
Absolutely
awesome.
love that idea.
It's awesome. And picturing them dressed like the mob too. That's just like, it's amazing. Love
Right.
it.
Wearing big
Aaron's-
suits and fedoras.
Absolutely. So cool. Aaron's mentioning Werewolf Bar Mitzvah. Do you guys know what that's from?
I do not.
The show 30 Rock. Have you ever seen 30 Rock?
Oh, yeah.
Tracy Morgan's character. It's so funny.
I'm gonna have to look up that episode.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You can just watch the YouTube clip. It's like a minute long. It's so good. Werewolf Bar.
Honestly, I love John Lithgow, so I'd rather just go back and start watching the show again because it's been years.
30.
Oh, wait, no, 30 Rock, not Third Rock
I-
from the Sun.
I-
My bad. I got
always
those
make-
confused.
I always get those mixed up.
You know, I just turned 40 and now I'm having this kind of brain issue. There goes my
What time is it?
Forever 21 idea.
Oh, don't worry, Oz. It doesn't get any worse after 40.
Nope, not even a little. I literally, the other day I was explaining something to my daughter, and it took me like 10 to 15 minutes to remember the word oatmeal. I'm like, the thing that I eat for breakfast, I could not think. I'm like, oats. And I'm like, oh, God, this is what a stroke feels like, isn't it? So, yeah.
No.
Sean, what you're explaining right now is quite literally that happens to me every single day at work when I'm talking to my coworkers, and they just do this
Yeah. My
because they
does it
know it's
too.
coming.
He's used to it.
Mhm.
He's used to
They're
it.
used to
Yep.
it.
Uh-huh.
we go. And we got one more that jumped in before I switch back over to the regular chat and find out who else joined us. It's, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, Lisa Messia saying, what
Messiah,
about the
yeah.
Wolfman?
Yeah,
Lisa
it's
Messiah.
Yeah, Messiah. Yeah,
I dig it. I dig it.
that's a friend of mine.
Awesome.
Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Musician.
One moment, Alan. Your volume is pretty low for some reason. I'm not sure why. It wasn't earlier, but
How is that?
Oh, perfect. Yes.
I think
There
I
we
just
go.
bent my micro. It was stuffed in my beard of sound muffling.
It's a typical Wolfman dilemma.
Yeah.
All right. So Bud's jumping on. Foster your local elderly werewolves, people. Give them a forever home for the time they have left.
Absolutely.
Night One says, most werewolf fiction I know has them either aging or being immortal. So even then, it's kind of a split choice. And Jack Nicholson, favorite Wolfman. Absolutely. The movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson and a very, very young, oh man, now I
James
can't think of
Spader.
his name.
Michelle
James Spader.
Pfeiffer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Freaking love James Spader, man. Such a cocky asshole.
I was working at a movie theater when that came out, and I think I've seen that movie in pieces about 30 times. Because I would, on my breaks, I would just go in and like sit down and watch Wolf for 15 minutes.
It was a fun
There's a-
movie, man.
There's a scene to me that was very impactful, and it's where he's outside of the door and he's waiting, I think, for James Spader to come down. He had just smelled perfume or something, smelled cologne or something, and he starts pacing back and forth in front of the door while staring at the door like a caged tiger almost. And I was a Wolfman in haunted houses for years. You know, like my nickname to a lot of my friends is Wolfie because of how long I was a werewolf in haunts. And still, you know, I'll play a werewolf every chance I get.
That's awesome.
But he didn't have a lot of makeup on. He was acting like a
That
werewolf.
was just him.
And
yeah.
that was powerful in that
So
I don't
good.
need all that. I can just act. And
Yeah.
you know, it helped refine and focus my craft a little bit.
Yeah. So
that
good.
was one of those movies where they didn't use a lot of prosthetics and everything else to really, really wolf somebody out. They went very kind of old school, you know, just a bit of makeup and a little extra hair here and there, and then teeth for like that full transformation look. But you know, overall, it was both of their acting that did it. Like, you know, the scene where he's talking to him in the bathroom, and he's just like, you know, marking my territory, and he turns and he starts pissing all over him and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, right. You are the alpha wolf in here, and you are showing you're taking on behaviors of what the animal is believed to be like, and you're utilizing that as opposed to, okay, I need to have like extra long fingernails or hair, or again, a lot of prosthetics. So it's like brings
As
a
opposed
lot
to
to
look,
it.
it's mannerisms and spirit.
That's
Yeah,
right.
You know,
it's way better.
that's it's very, especially when combined.
I don't
does
know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Alan.
Does anybody remember a not as good version where they didn't do a lot of effects? Mario Van Peebles was in it. It was Mario Van Peebles, and there was like a werewolf like SWAT team. And
that is
I
ringing a
did
bell.
not know
Was
that.
was it called Eclipse? Maybe.
Oh, okay. So I think that's right. Actually, That's
First,
so
do you remember
funny.
Mario Van Peebles?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I'm trying to bring it up to see if I can find it. I just brought up his IMDb. I forgot he was in Jaws the Revenge. Holy crap.
That's right. Oh
It's
my
been a
gosh.
long time since I've watched that one, so give me a
Full Eclipse.
little break here.
It was called Full Eclipse. It was a TV movie
Full
in
Eclipse.
1993.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Man.
My very
was
first
fun.
my very first experiment with special effects makeup, because I went through a period of time when I was young, like I went deep with I wanted to be a special effects makeup artist when I was young. in middle school through half of high school. That's what I wanted to do. And I got this book when I was really little, and it was from Scholastic Books. Look at that right there. If that takes you back, that's awesome. But yeah, this book by Alan Ormsby had how to make up tips, and I use this book to, let me try and find it here.
I use the paper lunch bag Frankenstein.
Yes, it is the paper lunch bag Frankenstein. I did that too, but I love just the step-by-step. Like, here's how you can become a monster. I'll show you I got to show the paper bag Frankenstein, because that's classic, and it never really worked out because it's near impossible to find the right size paper bag, right?
Shannon's shouting you out right now. She's like, I have that book.
Yes, that's awesome, Shannon. Here we go. Look at this. So good.
The drawings are good.
The drawings are fantastic.
Phenomenal.
The advice is a little like, because there are no, even lunch bags are too small and grocery bags are too big. So I just ended up doing it with a grocery bag and trimming a bunch of it. But yeah, good stuff.
Make it work for you, right? No,
Yeah, exactly.
No need to apologize. That was great. All right. So I do want to go ahead and read the synopsis here of Full Eclipse. Disillusioned LA cop Max Dyer is having trouble at work and at home after enigmatic officer Adam Garou invites him into a secret task force that uses a serum to give its members the ability to become powerful werewolves. Max's initial skepticism gives way to a newfound vigor for crime fighting. But then, Max's friend Casey Spencer is killed. Garou's motives are revealed to be less than pure, and Max must confront his former mentor.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's I gotta find that and watch it. That sounds great.
All right,
so many werewolf movies end up with a good werewolf and a bad werewolf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like just you reading that, so many of them are the new werewolf fights the old werewolf.
Yep. It's very, very like Sith rule here. Like, you know, one to crave the power and one who has it. So
yeah.
Normally they give me a little button that says, where can I watch it? And unfortunately, it's not coming up with that for Full Eclipse. Sorry, guys, because it would tell me what streaming service.
Nowhere.
Yeah, we'll have to go.
Maybe it's
figure
best,
out where
Oz.
it is.
Maybe it's best.
It might be. It might be.
Yeah.
Your time is valuable.
That's true. Yeah. Real valuable. No, it's great.
So who else we got in the chat there?
Well, that about rounded up. We did have McAllister's Masks and More jumping in. Says the makeup in the movie Wolves was pretty great. I agree. Again.
Yeah.
Was that with Jason?
That was the one. That's the one where they actually
the guy from Game of
Jason
Thrones.
Momoa. Yeah.
Was he in that one?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's good.
Oh,
it's
it'll tell me
really
real quick that this one's. I pulled it up real quick, and it'll tell me real quick that that's on Amazon Prime.
Okay. Yeah.
You can tell
it's
who's
good.
paying for stuff.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of werewolves in that, and the makeup is good.
Oh
Cool.
yeah, a lot of good actors too.
I'm always hesitant with contemporary werewolf movies. I don't know why. I'm always like Dog Soldiers got a lot of hype. I still haven't seen it. I'm afraid to watch it because a lot of people love it, but some people greatly dislike it. And I'm just afraid, as a person who loves the traditional werewolf story, I might not like it, and I don't want to not like it.
The werewolf story is okay. I'm not a fan of the look of the werewolves.
Okay.
Yeah, I tend to get a little particular about how they look. And yeah, I didn't care for them as much in that one because they didn't. I don't know. It was a little too. This may not make a lot of sense to some of you, but it was a little too monster and a little less wolf. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if that makes kind of sense.
That makes sense.
That's how I feel about Ginger Snaps' werewolf.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Although,
I'm with you
like,
on
I
that.
like the idea because, again, wolves are always in so many movies, just, men against men or whatever. Like you said, an older one and a, younger one a lot of times. But Ginger Snaps, I like the idea that here were these sisters that were wolves. And I ended up watching all of those. And it really doesn't make a lot of sense from one to the other either, because they did not go in any kind of chronological order.
And it's the same two girls who become a werewolf in like the 90s or whatever, and then the next one
It's like they're back in
colonial times.
Yeah.
But the same
Just
two actresses,
same two, same girls,
same story,
That's like
just colonial times.
Yeah,
that's like Howling 3. They're kangaroos.
We don't talk about Howling 3.
Oh yes, we do, Alan. I absolutely love.
Can I just
movie.
say that Howling 3 was like the first one that I saw? It was like it
I'm
came
so
on like
sorry.
Creature Feature or something like that on a Saturday, and I'm like it's around the season, and I'm like getting excited watching every horror movie I can that's coming on TV, and yeah, like Howling 3 popped up, and I was like, what the hell is this?
It is so bad, but it is so much fun. You know how Alan, you were talking about how I forget which movie we just mentioned, but the one with Mario Van Peebles might be a life suck. Like it just maybe don't waste your time. The Howling 3 is definitely in that category, but I do believe that a person who watches it is better after having watched it.
I don't know about all that. That's a far stretch.
I really enjoy working my way through whole series of movies. Yeah. Often I'll get I used to do my effects work here in this building before I did toys in it. And I was working my way through the Howling movies, and I started one morning and I had help coming, and it just happened to work out. It was the first time that this young lady was coming without a bunch of other people working in the shop.
Oh no.
And there was the movie's on, we're working on stuff in the shop. We're making like plant monsters, I think. And there's this 4-minute scene of this woman birthing a werewolf pupa critter that crawls up the hair to find a nipple. It's so awkward with someone else in the room watching that I did not enjoy that at all. And I'm like, you never saw that.
The weird bodysuit too, because it's got it's like the 6 nipples or whatever, down the suit, if I remember correctly. I know the scene you're talking about extremely.
Yeah, it's
just way too long.
That the werewolves are kangaroos. I mean, it's insane. It's a completely insane movie.
It's was this really necessary?
Not the worst Howling film, by the way.
No, it's not. That's for sure.
I think the worst one is what I consider one of the worst movies ever made. It's either 5 or 6. It takes place in a country western bar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The whole movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
There is 10 times the footage of random line dancing than there is footage of a werewolf.
I think it's because they were trying to go for a From Dusk Till Dawn vibe, but they failed on having Quentin Tarantino.
The werewolf is in it for 10 seconds at the end. That's it.
We got to capture a moment though. We got to pause for a moment. And when you said 10, there are 10 times more scenes of random line dancing. Sean went like this.
You don't hear that often in any review of a movie, typically. So there's a part of me going, the The other part is like, I'm not watching that shit. Sorry,
Bobby.
it's just not my style. I don't have enough rhythm to even do rhythm guitar. So yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
if there are werewolves, line
werewolf bar
dancing,
mitzvah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oy vey.
That's so good.
And Bobby jumping in the chat saying best books of werewolves.
So is he asking best books of werewolves, or is he telling us best books?
Are
This
of
is
werewolves.
like the of in Scareglow's description. How do you interpret the of?
Yes.
Best books of werewolves or best books derived from werewolves?
I put a question mark on the end of it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Oh.
I think that's what it was supposed to be. Best books of werewolves.
I've
It's
never
like how
read
Delivers
any-
is good. That's pretty much what he just did.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
get it from the chat. Can you believe
He
it?
did it right from the
Get
chat.
from
He's so good.
Couldn't you?
I think. Well, I keep thinking about Cycle of the Werewolf, but that's the only one that I've read. The only short story that I've read of werewolves. I don't think I've actually read any books about werewolves or on that have the subject matter werewolves.
If
You
anybody
guys?
here says Twilight, I will remove.
Ban them.
Actually, I really enjoy. It's a book series called the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter novels, written by Laurel K. Hamilton. Now, mind you, she's like it's kind of like a very R-rated Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of thing. She can resurrect the dead herself, and there are vampires within the books, and then there are also werewolves as well within the books, and they get into a bunch of other lycanthrope species as well, like were-panthers and stuff. But I really enjoyed that series. They had a bit of mystery to it because she was kind of like a private detective that did investigations. She was a licensed werewolf, or sorry, I was reading Bobby's comment there as I was speaking, but a licensed vampire hunter because she can reanimate corpses. She has resistance against the hypnotic powers of vampires. So, she has a natural resistance.
I
So-
haven't read that, but now I'm intrigued.
All right. I have read some of them. They get progressively spicier and more adulty.
Yeah, they really do. After a while, I actually stopped reading them.
Once the super kinky wereleopards showed up, I was out. Because I had more discomfort than I had joy of monsters. So I stopped with Anita Blake right about book
What
7,
book was
6
that?
or 7.
Which one was
6
that
or
one
7.
again?
It was
I
6
got
or 7.
this on here.
I'll tell you exactly which one it really starts to go overboard on. It's shoot, now I'm forgetting the names of them. I have all of them downstairs in my library, but I know by the time it gets to the offshoot book Micah, because that book was all about him and his background and stuff. He was one of those super kinky wereleopards. That's when I stopped, and that was after book 13 or whatever. But yeah, they did progressively get. When the book series started, there was all this mystery and there was a little bit of spiciness, but it wasn't real. Well, in the first several books, there's absolutely no sex or anything. Then progressively, it gets worse and worse and worse. And I'm so finally the books are coming out and they're this big, this thick, and about 85% of it's smut, and then the rest of it's into actual. Here's part of the story just to further along the narrative of all the books.
It depends on the person, though. Worse or better. Worse or better.
Right. For me, considering that's not why I started reading the books and why I enjoyed them. I mean, some of the scenes were kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie, but
Okay. Yeah. I do. If we go back to Bobby's comment here, I forgot The Wolfen was written by Whitley Strieber, who wrote Communion. And I don't know if anybody knows the movie Communion with Christopher Walken. It's one of the greatest performances of Christopher Walken ever. It's like totally over the top. He Nicolas Cages it, and it's like amazing. But I forgot that he wrote The Wolfen. And The Wolfen is one of my favorite quieter werewolf movies. That's a good one. It's an existential werewolf movie.
Well, I'd read The Howling here.
Mm-hmm.
And The Wolf Man, I'm wondering, is that like the classic? Because I honestly don't. I didn't know. The Wolf Man by Picaro. I'm like, I've got these written down now. That's part of what I was doing over here because I want to pick up some of these. But I got to definitely check these out because I love a good werewolf story.
And this one too.
Brought it up here. I forgot one. The Werewolf of Paris by Endor.
Yeah. Curse of the Werewolf is one of my favorite versions of the Wolf Man on film. Like,
I did a Motu custom of him.
Nice, yes. It's I love the
Reed.
design of that makeup. Oliver Reed, all the way, phenomenal. I have a T-shirt of that. I just love that design.
That mask right there is Curse of the Werewolf.
Oh, the one that's a little bit, I see it.
A little bit tilted back.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So Unryu says he used to work at the used book and game store, and those were always bought by the mid 20 to 30-year-old female readers.
Okay, hey, there you go.
There you go. I mean, it should be no surprise that the very first book itself is called Guilty Pleasures, but that's because it's the name of the bar.
So Bobby is also saying that the Wolfman, the one by Picaro, is a modern book. Okay, cool.
That's cool.
I own it. I haven't had a chance to read it. I don't read a lot. I do a lot of audiobooks because I drive a lot.
Yep.
But I don't have time to just read. I could make time, but I would rather play with action figures. So
I'm with
a lot
you.
of times I'm listening. Yeah.
Yeah. Audiobooks have been like, the audiobooks about in mid-December was the revelatory addition to my life. I've been like gobbling up books on my commutes and loving it. So that's on my list now too.
Yeah, I was going to see, I got to check out to see if it's on Audible. I just recently picked up, even though I can find them on YouTube, like the complete collections of like Robert E. Howard, for the Conan books for Audible, or rather just the audio books. Recently, I just found a couple of them, and even a new book for Conan that they had up there that was Audible exclusive, and I was like, "Ooh, I got to get this." So
nice.
that's been consuming my audio listening. And
today is actually Robert E. Howard's birthday.
Yes, it is.
Which I know from Instagram.
I was going to say I didn't know up until today, but I saw the post.
I didn't
either. All the Conan pages that I follow.
Yeah.
So I just put a book in the chat, Those Across the River by Christopher Buehlman, which is the author happens to be a friend of mine, but he's kind of done like big genre books. Like he did a vampire book, he did a werewolf book, and it's really good. It's really good. Those Across the River, really good werewolf story book.
Awesome.
I have to check that out.
What? Something's up with the comments. It's like somebody's.
I'm not touching them.
That's so weird.
Literally not touching them.
Okay, so just letting you guys know that from my end, my comments keep the comments that are on the side keep disappearing.
Like just now?
Because
you had it highlighted and it went away. Did you do that, or did it do it?
The column of comments on the side keep disappearing.
I keep seeing the word greetings pop up.
That's Allison Troy. I brought it up because I wanted to say hi to Allison, but
Adam, is anything touching your screen?
Nope, it's just sitting there on a stand.
How weird.
This reminds me of the Star Trek episode where greetings and salutations kept showing up on the screen. like the first series, greetings, and until you responded to that, nothing else could happen.
Well,
interesting.
let's respond to Allison, and maybe it'll stop. Hi,
Greetings,
Allison.
Allison.
Greetings.
Good to have you
Greetings.
here.
Greetings.
Salutations. Let's
Um,
see. Night One says Necroscope, The Lost Years, is a great werewolf character named Radu Lycan. He has a very interesting revenge storyline. Very cool.
I actually love the Necroscope series. I want to mention something after you mentioned Bobby's comment.
Oh, I was going to say, Bobby says, sorry, he just likes books more than the movies, and he's out of here. Have fun, guys. All right, Bobby. Well, thank you for popping in, brother. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with liking the books, too,
Yeah,
man. A lot of times
no
books are better than
apologies.
movies.
No apologies necessary. We all love books here.
All right, go ahead, Alan, and then I'm going to bring up Allison's next comment.
So the Necroscope series, really awesome, mostly vampire series with a really interesting take on the lore. And so werewolves and I'm going to use the term that's not a PC term, but it was the term used at the time, gypsies, which are now known as Romani. Don't normally say that anymore. And those are tied together because of the Wolfman from Universal Studios and several other properties that have linked those two mythoses together. And in order to have a colorful bunch of travelers in my haunted attraction, I actually pulled from the Necroscope series. They have a group like that called the Zagani, but they're actually from the Vampire Home Planet, which is a different dimension thing. And it's nice that there was a parallel lore out there that I could kind of reach to, and still do something cool with just familiar enough for people to latch onto it.
Absolutely.
I dig it. I really dig it. All right, so I did want to bring up Allison's comment here. She says, what's the difference between my ex's new wife and a werewolf? When the moon goes down, the werewolf loses his mustache.
I swear, Allison has the mind for this. Like, I hope. I've said it before. I hope Allison is doing stand up somewhere, and the whole focus of like these jokes that originate from experiences with the ex is like such a brilliant premise in such a great way. They're probably all true stories, but that's how we'll keep it for now.
I gotta say, yeah, I got nothing for that.
She's funny.
Yes, funny. Allison is amazing. All of her quips, the Sass Vault is a real thing. I love it. Good. I can't wait for Allison to get her Sass Vault show going, because I will be tuning in each and every week when she starts doing that.
Yeah. Real quick announcement. This is sort of off subject, so I want to bring it up now. A friend of the Frenzy, Alf Inflict, sent me this image of something a couple of weeks ago, and I keep forgetting to bring it up. But for people who do custom Origins figures, Alan, there's this book out now called Multiverse Masters Custom Origins Book 1. You can order it. Okay, I didn't take it off there. The ghost of StreamYard is attacking us. So you can type this.
Haunted.
You can type this into Amazon and order a copy. And apparently it features members of a Custom Origins Facebook group. It features the customs that they've been working on. So go check it out. I mean, what a cool thing that's out there now for us.
Right? Yeah, that is really awesome.
I haven't ordered my copy yet, but I plan to, Alf.
And apparently the haunting continues.
Yeah.
This show's supposed to be about werewolves, not ghosts. Come on, that's another episode.
Yeah. Next episode, poltergeists.
Right?
Yeah.
And their shenanigans.
Yeah. Strange. But anyways, yeah, Alf, that book looks really cool. So thanks for sending that our way, Alf.
I just made a note so I can look it up later.
Yes.
So one of the sentences that I heard was like about werewolf and wolfman toys.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of a lot of them out there.
There are.
Is there a time where you're going to talk about your favorites?
Yeah, well, we haven't even talked about when we're going to talk about that, but I definitely
Apparently we're going to talk about this a little bit more.
I gotta say, is it Marx, the company that makes
Marx? Yes, Marx. The plastic ones.
The
and there's the whole
ones.
Universal Monster set.
Yeah, the company that does these. So I have the Wolfman. Oh, sorry. This is not the Wolfman. This is just Donald Duck, but it's a Marx figure. I love the Marx figures, and I would collect all of them if I had the time and the money. But my Wolfman, I have a blue Wolfman. He's not with me here. He's in the Halloween bin, which is where most of my Wolfmen are actually in the garage. But I love those Marx figures. I love all the Universal Monsters Marx figures. There's something about the solid, semi-translucent plastic, the solid color, semi-translucent.
They're all good
plastic.
poses too.
Mm-hmm.
I think action figures of that time were so stiff and static.
Yeah.
And then you had the Marx figures, which were not posable, but they had a playability because, they were at least in a cool pose.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. And they stood up really well because they had those little platforms that they were
all on surfboards.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly. That definitely takes me to memories of playing with them in the bathtub and having them skid along the water. That's crazy, Alan, that you said that because I haven't had that thought in like 25 years. So thank you for that.
It can be a bit pricey now though too.
Anytime that I put like a balancer on them, that looks like they're kind of oblong. It looks like they're on a surfboard, like the Marx figures. And then there's a moment of Silver Surfer happening with them flying around before I put them on the shelf. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta happen. And I just got to say it because we're huge fans of Masters of the Universe here. One of my favorite Wolfman action figures is Beastman. He's kind of the in my opinion, and I know some of you share this. He's the greatest of the beasts, and he's awesome. He's a Wolfman. He's a Bigfoot. He's a pumpkin. He's everything that you ever wanted.
He's King Kong.
He's King Kong, definitely.
I want to see Beastman throw down against Grizzlor one of these days.
That happened.
I want to see that in the media.
Yeah, we got to see that happen. Has that happened in any of the comics? I know it hasn't happened in the cartoons. Adam?
Not that I remember or recall.
Maybe in that the one that came with the Bruce Timm comic that came with the gift set. Maybe it might be a false memory. I have to check it.
All right, this frenzy ghost thing going on is really starting to.
It's creeping me out a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm not even anywhere near to touching anything like that. Do want to say hello to Eric Perryman here, saying, "Hey everybody, I get to hang out with you guys for a bit." Well, we're glad to have you here, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Adam can easily correct me if I'm wrong, but to my memory, Grizzlor's action figure came out long before he was on She-Ra cartoon, and the booklet that came out with that really set him up like he was Bigfoot. because it was
Yep.
like the legend of Grizzlor, and they're telling this
Mhm.
campfire story, and they're talking
Yep.
about Grizzlor, who is kind of Bigfoot in combat boots, and I fell in love with that figure because of the mini comic, and to me, the cartoons like nerfed all the characters that I loved, and
Oh,
again, that happened, but yeah, I'm not bitter.
Yeah. The comic was cool. That was one of the few 85 Horde comics that wasn't sort of weirdly illustrated.
Yeah.
But it did come out the same year as the cartoon. They both came out in 85. But you may not have encountered the cartoon until later.
Right.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah,
time,
Sorry, Sean, you've been I
Sean,
think you
please.
had something to say for the last like 5 minutes.
well, the one time where you can really show that Beastman becomes a werewolf is the CGI Netflix show.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
he
that's
starts
true.
out as Rakaz, and he's this crazy weird guy in the jungle, and then through the Havoc power that Skeletor
right.
basically just I wouldn't say he bestows it on them, because it's kind of an act of he's forcing them to have this power against their will. He ends up literally becoming a werewolf, and they show him like the full moon and everything. That was the first time where I'm like, yes, like this is how I've always viewed it. And it's like him in the jungle as Beastman when I was a kid was fine, but that version actually was menacing as hell, because he also was a really creepy character on the show.
I loved
Really
him
twisted.
bipedal when he went quadruped, when they super souped him up and he became a
Mhm.
quadruped beast thing. I wasn't as big a fan of that. That reminded me of Spike from Looney Tunes,
Mm-hmm.
the bulldog. That's what it reminded me of.
Well, that was more of him in Revelations when.
That was Revelation.
Oh, was it
Yeah,
Revelations?
when
Yes.
Evelyn used the power sword to like
Yeah.
turn him into like her version of Battle Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It was neat seeing that fight between Battle Cat and him, but at that point, to me, he was no longer Beast Man. He was just more of a beast.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I would have much rather have seen somebody take the power sword and hit it with Panther, because, like, okay, He-Man uses the power sword on Cringer. Cringer gets bigger and becomes Battle Cat, who is then about like that same size as, Battle Cat. Battle Cat becomes the same size as Panther.
Mm-hmm.
So what would happen if when Skeletor called down the power and used it on Panther, what would happen to Panther?
Good things.
That would be wild.
Good things, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, like Evelyn turning Beastman into like her Battle Cat while she was champion, I didn't care for it as much. Although, like overall, I really kind of did enjoy Beastman throughout Revelation. I thought he was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He didn't show up in the last one. He wasn't there at all. Like
that's because he went down the chasm in Revelation at the end. He like fell down into that pit. They never brought him back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine.
I will say,
he better be.
Have you seen the Joe Amato Battle Cat customs? Like he has a whole series of them.
Yeah.
My favorite of those is his Beastman Battle Cat. It looks really good. Skelly, you're on the same page. The colors of the vintage Beastman are just so great. Just the orange and the blue and the red all together.
He's beautiful.
Yeah,
he's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's a color scheme that we've seen repeated again and again in modern toy lines even today. Like Awok, right? Like there's Tanger that came out, which was a very specific paint job homage, but they also have like one of their smaller gladiator figures where it's kind of like a more mandrill looking monkey, but it's got like the blue and the orange and everything else, and is again very, very Beastman-esque with its color scheme.
Yeah.
Even the there's an alley viper, I think it is, which is an orange
Oh
Cobra.
yeah.
Yeah,
figure,
the alley
which
viper.
is, to me, that's the most beautiful GI Joe figure, as far as like the color scheme goes.
Bright
Yeah.
orange and the blue.
I love that one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I want that for camo, but it does look cool.
No.
I don't know what the hell you're hiding in, but okay. You're hiding in a beast, man.
Just jump in that lava and no one will see you.
There is bright orange camo, and I think it's because animals can't see that particular shade of color.
Well, yeah, it's for hunting so that hunters can be aware of you, but deer are colorblind, right?
Yeah.
Like deer can't see color.
That's right.
So instead of
pliers real quick, I'll be right back.
Okay.
But yeah, instead of wearing like woodland camo where I can't see you while I'm out there with a rifle or a bow,
yes,
you're wearing bright orange so you stand out in the middle of these woods so I don't accidentally shoot you instead.
Do you think, okay, that's another question about werewolves then. The theory is that dogs are also colorblind. Are werewolves then colorblind? And would that orange hunting outfit work to keep you hidden from a werewolf?
Good question.
Maybe.
I mean,
they'll smell you, but
they'll smell you.
That's true. Gotta make sure you're downwind, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a possibility, you know.
Yeah.
I have to go back and ask Lon Chaney Jr. like, you know, hey, buddy, this was all in black and white, but if we put color in here, would it make a difference to you?
Ask every actor in every black and white film. So what's it like to not see in color?
Yeah.
So how did they remove your pigmentation? The ghost is back popping up again.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on tonight. This is strange.
I'm going to actually do an experiment. I'm going to log out and continue the conversation. I'm going to log out and try and come back in. I'm wondering if it's some glitch on my end or not, but I'm going to just try that. I don't think it is, but we're going to
I don't think so either, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
If I can figure out how to do that. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, be right back. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, if we want to start going around, I guess, a little bit of roundtable. I know several of us all brought some Wolfman figures that we have. Do we want to start talking about some of our Wolfman pieces?
Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Let's do it.
Who wants to go first?
I've been talking a lot. You guys go.
I've definitely been talking a lot.
All right. Well, why doesn't Sean go then?
Oh, so this one, I because right when we started the show, I'm like, I know I have this one somewhere, and I was lucky enough to find it. Here we go. There it is.
Let me see if I can get you full
Remco 3 3/4 Wolfman that I had when I was a little kid.
That's
that
awesome.
Went along with the Frankenstein. Actually, Frankenstein's monster. I'm gonna be legit about it, and the Dracula that I had when I was a kid. So he was always one of the more fun ones to play with because I just would let him go crazy, and Dracula would be like, "No, leave them alone." You know, Dracula would be like the leader, but he would be like the henchman, go get him kind of guy when I would play with him as a kid. And then, courtesy of NECA, the black and white version of the Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman. And I have the color one on the shelf too, but yeah, this is definitely one that when I got him in hand, it's like, this is great. Just I love that you can make him be Larry Talbot again if you want to go there. I love that he has the cane, all that. So definitely one that I was really happy to get on my shelf last year.
Excellent. I do appreciate that figure. I like that NECA went the extra mile, and I mean, they really try to get, you know, every penny they can squeeze out of their bucks. So they will make the same figure a good 3 or 4 times just to get the maximum usage. And I thought the black and white was a really, really cool touch from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
And there is the full color figure right there for folks who need that color visual.
And the cool thing too is with the Remco line in the 80s, they ended up going glow in the dark, and I love that NECA even's going there, and I love that they have the retro card back with the black and white, just like when I was a kid. So every time I see those, I'm almost ready to jump at them because it's so innate to my DNA when I was a kid. But the other part of me is like, no, I don't need the glow in the dark ones. I'm gonna pull back from that. I got these. That's the ones that I really wanted. But yeah, just in general, the Universal Monsters is always going to be one of my absolute favorite things when it comes to like Halloween or in general.
I had their house carrying case.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was a haunted house carrying case. It was a little flip table for Frankenstein.
Oh yeah,
so good.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys seen this on BBTS? Hold on a second. Let me pull it up real quick.
I know what you're going to show, and the figures look great, and the house looks great.
Right. Like it's a really cool thing. Oh man,
I think they're 4-inch figures. They're a little out of scale for what I do right now, but they are beautiful.
And they're not like you're just. They're not like the same old. Oh man, I keep forgetting the name of who's doing them right now. But they've been on BBTS for a while.
Are you talking about those ones that look almost like Remco inspired?
Yeah, Remco inspired, but not the Remco ones. And again, they're the 4-inch figures, and they come with like the big cardboard play set.
Yeah,
it's kind of doing those.
I almost feel like there's certain things that I am hesitant to jump on just because they're Universal Monsters when there are so many, like, I don't know if this makes sense, but I would almost rather shop eBay for Remco Universal Monsters than get somebody's newer version that doesn't look like the real. Yeah, see, there you go, Sean. You got the little Remco Wolfman. Those are so beautiful.
I couldn't think of the name of it because it's Mezco, and Mezco doesn't do like 3 3/4 like that.
Yeah.
But here it is. It's kind of like their little nod to the classic Remco monsters. I gotta say, I love the look of the little Fishman or Gillman. The Dracula looks pretty neat. You got your Wolfman back here, the Mummy, Frankenstein's creature. It's a real neat play set. Again, it's just cardboard though, so that kind of makes me worry.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty darn cool. I'm the Gillman, the creature. He's all right. I'm not a big fan of that type of design for that character, but I do like the mustachioed Dracula.
Me too. I love that look.
Yeah,
looks like a Radu.
Yeah.
Well, here's the cool thing about that, because you can make them like a full vampire monster bat too.
That's cool.
Right. So here's your sea creature, as they call it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they give you like little accessories for each one. There's been so many times I love the fact that you can take the top of his head off. And it's the brain.
That's good.
That's
like,
cool.
That's pretty cool.
So many times I just sit here and I look at these and I'm like, ooh, I kind of want this. But again, it's not my scale. I worry about cardboard play sets all the time. Like, especially with humidity, because where I'm at in Maryland, it gets really, really humid. And I would hate for that to warp it's beautiful cardboard.
That's a great Wolfman head. The Gillman is too froggy fishy.
Yeah, I agree.
I see what you're saying here. Yeah, it doesn't look as good, right?
It looks like a slod from D&D.
Like,
totally.
I like from the back the fin. I dig that. And like he doesn't look so bad, like top down, almost like this.
But still looks a little almost like a Murloc.
Yeah, yeah, he does look a little bit more Murloc like, but right down here, this looks awful. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I think he's going after Han and Chewie here. I don't know.
It's a great Wolfman, though.
Yeah, the Wolfman's exciting. Like, I really
Frankie is really good. I think my favorite from this group is the Frankenstein. I don't know why, but
the Frankenstein and the Dracula. Yeah, Frankenstein, Dracula, and Wolfman out of this are top notch. Like, they look so good. But again, if you're just doing like a scene again here, I'm not really bothered by it. I think it's okay. I don't know.
I guess it depends on the angle, right?
Yeah, it really does.
Can you go back a couple pictures where Frankenstein and Wolfman are fighting?
Yeah. Let me find that picture. Here we go.
That is so okay. So I'm going to wax poetic here for a moment. If just throw a rock or something, if you want to stop me. There's a theory that there's only two monsters. That's it. There's the Wolfman and Frankenstein, because it is either a monster from inside of you, or a monster that nature made, or nature made you into, or it is a creature that man made, a monster that man made. Godzilla is Frankenstein. We made him by bombing and radiation. We changed the environment. So there's only two. They're called the dark twins.
That makes sense.
And that fight, it is science doing something it shouldn't against the fury of nature. That is such an iconic fight. Frankenstein versus the Wolfman, one of my favorite movies. And in my top 5 movies, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
So good.
Absolutely.
It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
They're all in it. Everybody kind of has their moment, with even Bela Lugosi as Dracula, which we didn't get him near enough.
Yeah, agreed.
But that's a good look at that. That looks like historical Dracula turned into a vampire, which is lovely.
Yeah, sorry, Sean.
If you saw the new Nosferatu, there you go. You almost have that figure right there.
That's right.
That is
funny.
I wouldn't say it's identical, but it very much leans into what that movie did.
Because people had mustaches back then, so it makes sense that Dracula would have a mustache. It just makes so much sense.
Robert Eggers, the director, was saying he dipped into the history and the mythology of the area and the origins, and like the Slavic background just implied the nobleman part of it or whatever would have that kind of a mustache to represent his where he was in society or whatever and stuff.
So,
like that, which is interesting.
I'm not gonna wax poetic, but I'm gonna go on a diatribe. What Robert Eggers did perfectly with Nosferatu is not reveal anything about the way Count Orlok looks. What the new Wolfman did is the exact opposite. Reveal the Wolfman, show the transformation scene in trailers. I mean, and I mean this when I say and I know you all probably agree to a certain extent, but one of the greatest treats we get from werewolf movies is the transformations. When they're digital, they kind of suck. When they're practical, they're amazing, and they're so much fun to watch. And they gave away all that before you went to see the movie. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm still excited to see that film because it kind of looks creepy and fun and different. But Oz is making a smile like he's seen it, but I do think that filmmakers should pay attention to what Robert Eggers did with Nosferatu. I'm not seeing any images online of the way that Count Orlok looks until just this week. They really held off, and that was so smart because when I saw him, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing here. This is fucking great.
I've said for a while, I feel that movies over the last decade or so if I watch the trailer, I almost don't need to go to the movie.
Yeah. It's a big problem. It's a big problem, Oz. You're absolutely right.
You know, where is the point between giving enough to make you want to go see it without giving you the whole thing? And lately, I don't know if that's just the substance of movies these days, that we could watch it in like a minute, 30-second trailer and get the whole story or not. But Alan's working on some madness down here. We're going to bring that up.
Well, I was playing with this Wolfman toy, and that's why I had to go get pliers in order to tear him apart. But I thought, I bet I could just make his hands and head fit on Master Splinter. Yeah. I used Splinter's feet for something else, but I have another Splinter in the package that I'll put Wolfman feet on. But that's fun. Do this green cool. Like his. Do this in that OD green like his costume is. You know.
Yeah, and the brown practically matches perfectly.
It's close. Right? Yeah, a little paint touch is good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so Sean was showing us a lot of his wolf toys.
Ooh.
You know, that he had out. He showed us his Remco. He showed us a beautiful NECA black and white. I've got a couple of wolf toys that I don't mind showing off. I want to start out with, where did Skelly go? Is he still with us? Or is this that ghost thing acting up again?
I thought I'd fixed the problem, but I just disappeared, so I don't know.
Well, so far, you've been okay. We'll see how it continues here.
It's going to take each of us out one at a time until the end of the episode. That's what's going to happen. See?
Well,
See?
It just removed Skelly again. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to bring him back. Nope. I set up bringing him back.
That is so weird.
If we believe hard enough, Skelly will be back.
Count Orlok's trying to get you, Skelly.
Yeah.
So I brought this guy out from a Scooby-Doo Monsters. It's that classic Scooby-Doo Wolfman. Not a lot of articulation on this guy. Still just a really fun, goofy, kind of cartoony version of Wolfman. I love this figure. And earlier this year, we had this cool announcement from the Four Horsemen. They did a figure obscura and kind of gave us our first look at what a Wolfman might kind of look like from them and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that was with this beautiful Anubis. Wait, that's not an Anubis head. I was just playing around, seeing what the match was on the skin tone from this head that came in one of the recent figure packs I got. The head's a little bit lighter than the body, but I wanted to check that out.
That head looks like the uncle from Friday.
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally.
So he's still got his monstrous feet on. But yeah, this Anubis figure that they did with the Gods of Egypt 2-pack is amazing. And again, I'm a huge fan of Egyptology.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely love that they did this. And you've got the real monstrous, snarling kind of Anubis monster here. Now, they did give some extra parts so that you can make him not so snarling. You know, you can still kind of have the jackal type head, not snarling. They also gave one that is extremely statuesque. That one's still in the box, though. I just kind of like that monster version. Like Indy showed up, was checking out the tomb, and then pissed off the guardian of the tomb.
Yeah.
And they gave you pieces too to make him look almost more statuesque, like with the feet and stuff, with there's cracks in it and all. Now I got to say, over the weekend I did go out because I knew we were doing this episode, and I was trying to get a Kessler wolf from NECA for American Werewolf in London. Because a couple weeks ago, you guys saw me talk about him. This guy has not gone away from my desk this whole time. I am still playing with this bad boy.
Yeah, he's
hands
awesome.
Down my favorite werewolf.
That's a great toy.
He's got nards. Monster Squad was right. Wolfman's got nards. Not really. It's just a little bulge down there, but it's cold outside. We're not going to judge. I absolutely love this figure. This is the Primal Kilowog from Operation Monster Force. It's a sculpt done by an artist who goes by Sebadam. You can follow him on Instagram. His store was called Planetary Dog Toys. I don't know that he will be doing much work commercially on his own, because now he's doing sculpting for other companies, which is how they got this look for the werewolf. He used to sell the pieces just so you could, buy the pieces from him and kind of make your figure. So
that's cool.
I know Sean's probably familiar with him because he's pretty well known within the Mythic Legions community. But this wolf is hands down my absolute favorite wolf figure. I'm picking up another one. Like, that's how much I enjoy this figure. I'm picking up another one because I need multiple. And then later, I've got a little presentation I'm going to do where I show off. There are a lot of really cool werewolf toys in the modern toy world right now. We'll show that off a little bit later. But those are my picks that I had.
I'm excited about one in particular that's supposed to be coming out here pretty soon. I have the Kessler werewolf, the NECA Kessler werewolf. My daughters gave that to me for my birthday or Christmas a couple years back when it first came out. And that thing is magic. It's a beautiful action figure.
I found the Toonie Terror version this weekend.
That's good too.
But I wanted, and that's why I didn't pick it up. Honestly, if it was like the last stop of the day and I saw that at like the Target I was at, I probably would have just grabbed it. But because I was still actively hunting for the regular Kessler werewolf, I left it.
You might have to order it. You might have to order the realistic looking one.
I will. I'm gonna have to. Nobody's got it in stock.
One of these days, I'm gonna get that Toonie Terror's Kessler werewolf because it looks good too. And I feel
not have
like
it out by you?
No.
I'll have to go take a look this weekend. Maybe we'll get it.
The Toonie Terror's figures are getting better. This Wolfman
that's a nice head.
He's beautiful. It's like it's not the realistic NECA ones, but these cartoony looking ones are getting better and better. They're really good. I mean, this Frankenstein one, I'll show you Frankenstein, even though we're talking Wolfman, but the Frankenstein head sculpt,
that's just gorgeous.
Is amazing. And they look like they could have been in a Scooby-Doo cartoon. But
that's what I was just gonna do that real quick here. I can't get us like right next to each other, but holding this guy up next to your Toonie Terror's Wolfman.
Yeah.
Like very similar posing with the knees, the color scheme. Like this was definitely done on purpose. The
fact that he's wearing a green shirt.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It was extremely intentional with how they did the look on the Scooby-Doo. I mean, you could tell the artist was influenced. He wanted to make it look like the Wolfman from Universal.
Now, that head on the Scooby-Doo is a little more reminiscent of Henry Hall in not an American Werewolf in London, but
no,
the Werewolf of London.
Werewolf of London one, yeah, absolutely.
Werewolf of London.
That makeup on him is very subtle, more like Jack Nicholson's first, like the way he looks at the beginning. It's very cool.
Yeah, that stage of turning into
Henry Hall fought to have minimal makeup.
That was smart
because he was a serious actor. And he didn't want to be covered in makeup, which then it was build up every time because that was early 30s.
Yeah.
I think. But there's a ridiculous scene in that movie where he turns into a werewolf and then he puts on his coat, he puts on his hat, he goes out the door and closes it behind him.
Very much like Jekyll and Hyde, instead of a wolf.
Yeah.
So, folks, we're gonna do a little trivia, not trivia, but yeah, I guess we'd call it trivia. We're gonna do a giveaway.
Trivia.
We're gonna do a giveaway tonight for this Toony Terrors Universal Monsters Wolfman. So do stick around because Adam has a really great presentation, and as usual, I'll pick a little snippet of information from that presentation, and that will be the big question to see if you can answer that right and win our Toony Terrors Wolfman tonight. So,
very cool. So, did we want to go around show off some more
I want to show one of my favorite werewolf action figures from.
Sure.
I use specific terminology because monsters are like I own a monster museum at Scarborough Fair. I do haunted houses and I love werewolves. If it has a snout, it's a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
No snout, it's a wolfman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Normally, werewolves considered a blessing and they're a little more on the evil side, and wolfmen are cursed. So that's how I kind of differentiate it. So this is a werewolf action figure, and what a surprise, because most of the line is a little goofy, but I love this Ghostbusters werewolf.
Yes,
because his play action when you squeeze his legs together, and he has, it's the pants are busted. You see the fur through his holes in his pants.
Yep.
But I'm gonna move my mic because I'm gonna werewolf howl because I have to.
That's so good.
Like his head goes back.
Yeah.
And his arms kick out. Like this toy. I love this sucker as a kid. This is my third one because I'd always break it right at the leg where you.
Just squeezing it and playing with that one too much. When they started doing the Kenner Classics, I was really, really hoping that they would redo those. All the ones based off the monsters.
Yeah.
Mind you, I didn't really care too much about the other ones as much. I just wanted them to reissue that one. If I got to get the whole wave of them, fine. But I wanted brand new versions of that one because there are a lot of them where that was a toy a lot of people played with, and a lot of them when you pick them up at shows are broken or really worn down. But that is without a doubt one of my favorite.
So I'll show another favorite from the 90s.
Let's do it.
Very, very short run. Monster Force. This is Larry Talbot. So they were Universal Monsters. They were sanctioned. Frankenstein wore like a short sleeve trench coat, and Larry Talbot was one of the good guys. And they had Dracula, Frankenstein. They had a cartoon for a little while, but Monster Force. And I thought the look of this, because you never had a long-haired werewolf until I saw this one.
Yeah. Now, would he be a werewolf or a wolfman?
He's a wolfman.
Definite wolfman.
He's a wolfman.
Yeah. He's kind of got like a Lobo look to him, a little bit, and I like that his face is more. His face is kind of reminiscent of the Werewolf of London version that we were just talking about, except with the long hair.
Mm-hmm.
How did I not know about this show?
Are you looking them up now?
Yeah. Without a doubt. Like the moment you guys mentioned, like, dude, this Frankenstein's monster is wicked cool.
They were 90s cool. They really modernized them, and I thought they did a great job. They
did well without going overboard. Like I always get
action
worried.
Figure is lovely from that line. It's beautiful.
I'm thinking about doing the eBay hunt, starting the eBay hunt on those.
Well, right now I can tell you Doc Reed Crowley is $35 in stock on this guy's eBay shop. Yeah, that's how quick I went down that rabbit hole. I'm like looking them up. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this.
There's some things in the chat, I think, that thoughts on Wolfman having a tail or no.
I starred that so that we could come back to it because I know we do want to get through the rest of our little list of toys, and I know Adam's got a presentation he's sitting on of a very not so talked about part of Masters of the Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think werewolves have tails. I don't think wolfmen have tails.
Okay, so I just got up to go. I've forgotten about this. I don't know how or why, but I do have my favorite werewolf action figure at the ready.
Oh, Scally, I get you. There we go.
There we go. The first terrifying werewolf I ever encountered was the big bad wolf. This guy scared the you-know-what out of me when I was a kid. But yeah, this guy's a werewolf, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, he may be a wolf were.
A wolf were, yeah.
Because that's a wolf who turns into a man.
Yeah, and then I guess Goofy would be that too, right? Except he's a dog. He's a dog.
It's hard to explain Goofy. Because then there's Pluto, who's just in a life of servitude for no reason because he can't talk.
I actually did a deep dive on this, and the differentiating factor is that Goofy wears clothes.
Pants.
And that's it.
But Donald doesn't wear pants.
No, he wears clothes. Sailor shirt.
He wears clothes. He's got a hat and a shirt. Yeah, that's it. Pretty simple and super weird. But yeah, anyways, had to show off my big bad wolf because that guy's awesome.
I love how it came with like a little play stand, and then you can kind of just slip like a card back on. I'm sorry, I'm still looking at these Universal Monster Force toys.
They're good.
Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
They're really good. They were redesigns handled really well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They got a creature from the Black Lagoon.
Can you share that picture?
I like that look.
Yeah, I got you.
Let's see it.
You get them brand new on card, less than $30. Like he's a buff. Like
he's a bulky dude.
Right? He is a roided out Gilman for sure. But it's kind of hard to be mad at that.
He has slight Leech vibes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because of his stature, which I really like.
He's in the package, so it's hard to get a clear, good image of him. But you can see it comes with like a little stand, and then you cut this section of the card back out, and you could slide it on the stand.
Yeah, that's great.
So it comes with like a little little background like that. It comes with a giant harpoon cannon. Like this dude's buff.
Adam, when you leaned in, I immediately thought, I think I know what's going on in his head right now. He's like the Leech from the mini comic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. I could really get zoomed in on him.
Now, if you get him with like a little Mega Construx He-Man, you can recreate the Leech
Exactly.
Look at this. Okay, so he comes this little thing right back here. That's a treasure chest, and then he's got this and this that you can put in it.
That's cool. Yeah, he's kind of great.
I posted a link to a picture of him where you can see him a little better. And the head is great. I think the proportions are great, and he's got a big webbed, just pimp slapping hand, which I think is essential to the creature of the Black Lagoon.
This one right there.
Yeah,
right.
That's good.
Give me my
this is yellow money. Universal Monsters. Ben Cooper.
I have that one. I have that right here.
The yellow one like that? That's so cool.
Now we're all just watching Oz shop.
Mm-hmm.
This happens sometimes on Saturday nights. Not gonna lie. Oh, hold on. No, we gotta give the attention to Skelly here. He's got that.
Oh,
this is supposed to be about Wolfmen, and we're looking at Gillmen, but we can't not.
It's very hard to not.
The passion that we have.
It's hard to not love the Gill Man, because he was the first monster that was naked, and you saw his whole body.
He had nothing covering him up. Hold on, Skelly. I'm coming over and I'm embiggening you.
I'm not gonna open these. I think Super 7 did an amazing job with the packaging.
They're fine to stay on card. Yeah.
I mean, look at this.
I'm normally a proponent of opening your toys, but I think these there's a certain level of, you know what, you've got enough other kinds of Gillmen. Like these ones are just fine in packaging.
They're pretty amazing.
Which I don't say that often.
Oh, and I have another werewolf. Sorry, I have another werewolf. Fruit Brute.
Yeah. I love Fruit Brute. I'm waiting for Jada to do that.
I thought at first that was the Monsters in My Pocket werewolf.
Oh, it looks very similar.
He was a 25-point monster.
Yes.
He's one of the strongest ones.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
I have him over at the house. I didn't bring him over.
For people who are wondering what we're talking about, when Monsters in My Pocket first came out, they had kind of like this whole point system that you would use to gauge the strengths of the different monsters. And apparently we're going to keep having that issue tonight.
The ghost is here. The ghost is back.
They say the modern audience wants a cut every 5 seconds. It's just helping.
I think that's what's happening.
It's just helping.
Good. Yeah, no wonder.
StreamYard has streamlined the process.
Well, let's jump into the Battle Ram report. What do you think, guys?
I think that would be an excellent idea.
Always my favorite part of your show.
Oh, mine too.
Thank you.
I'm ready.
Welcome to another edition of the Battle Ram Report, brought to you by Adam, author of the BattleRamblog.com website, the best Motu site on the web. He'll throw you a He-Man punch and a Skeletor blast. Be ready to get some knowledge. Take it away, Adam.
I accidentally cut you off.
Thank you, Bobby.
Oh, come on, Ghost. There we go.
There we go. So yeah, this was when you're talking about literal werewolves in Masters of the Universe, it's kind of slim pickings, right?
yeah.
You can grab anybody who's hairy like Beastman or Grizzlor, but we wanted to get an actual werewolf, and one appears in this Curse of the Three Terrors.
That's right.
So a little bit of background on this. I know. So this was. Brian Flynn back when Super 7 had the master's license. This was originally supposed to be like a 2 or 3 minute little short, but it kept expanding, and it's more like 10 minutes. It's kind of like a mini episode of Filmation, only there's no heroic characters. You do get Alan Oppenheimer in there as Skeletor, which is great.
And Merman too, yeah.
Yeah, and Merman. But you don't obviously he's the only original voice actor.
Right.
But it's a fun video. At the time I remember watching it, and then I hadn't thought much about it since, so I had to dredge up my MP4 and watch it again and take some notes. So here we go. Did you guys ever watch this?
I did. I just finally found it. So I found a version of it that on YouTube. Somebody put it up there illegally, and part of it's in Spanish, but then the dialogue is all in English.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So basically we get our three villains here in Snake Mountain, and Skeletor is trying to create a paralyzing potion. He's going over his list of ingredients, and he figures out he's fresh out of death nettles. So they have to go looking for death nettles.
That was so funny.
So this is not immediately clear what this is, but there's a funny shot where they're like on Eternia and it's peaceful and there's plants and it's pretty, and then there's like this panning shot, where you go like there's this hard barrier to this dark part of it, and basically they say that's the light half and the dark half of Eternia. So you never see that illustrated, so it's fun that they do the hemisphere divide here. Yeah, so they have to go to Mount Prometheus in the Canyon of Spiders, which is not, I don't believe, is a real location in Filmation, but they so this is where you can find the Death Nettles. You get some fun details, like this kind of skull and spider themes.
That cauldron you showed in that first clip was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful cauldron.
The cauldron looks
that's
very
awesome.
Filmation. That's kind of classic Filmation look.
Even a little heavy metal mixed into that.
Definitely.
Yeah, right?
Metalocalypse cauldron here.
I'm digging it.
So where are we at? So he finds the Death Nettles. Then there's this the volcano kind of erupts a bit, and it uncovers this entrance. So they decide to explore, see what's in this place. So they go in here. They find this sort of river waterfall. You can see, I think that's like a panther rock in the background. Key plot point here is in order to cross the water, they cause these rocks to fall down so they can get over. That comes back later.
Mm-hmm.
So basically he has them split up. There's a few different passageways. So we get Beastman exploring by himself, and we've got Terror Wolf, the first of the three terrors, sneaking up behind him to capture him. This is our werewolf. Yeah. So he runs into Terror Jaguar, which looks very similar to Terror Wolf, less pointy ears.
Yeah.
More hands akimbo.
Yeah, totally. Definitely a little bit of a more flamboyant pose happening here.
Sassy Jaguar man.
Yeah.
Sassy Jaguar.
Not at all Jaguar colored.
No. And Beastman knows it too. Look at him. He's like, no, that's not right.
You went out of the house in that outfit? And then there's Terror Bat there, who has captured Merman.
Ghost. The ghost keeps messing with the slides. So sorry, guys.
No, it's
I don't think these are very good. I hate to say that, but I don't like them.
These characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't buy them back in the day because I couldn't quite get into them.
Yeah, me too.
They're almost.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first started looking when Origins came out, and I was getting back into looking at 5.5 scale stuff, these popped up in one of my searches, and I thought that they were somebody's somebody went and made some knockoff custom toys that they just thought that this was a cool design, so they made 3 of them. I didn't realize for a while that these were an actual released item from Super 7. And I'm like, they charged people money for this?
They feel like if Eternia had evil Teletubbies.
Yes.
Okay, so everything. Okay, so just letting you all know, everything you were saying makes me want them even more for some reason. I don't know why. Now I'm like,
you really enjoy that stranger side of Brian Flynn.
Something about that guy's brain.
These are the Charlie Brown Christmas tree of O2 villains.
Yes,
definitely.
Exactly.
They're
No,
like
I will
if
say-
Eternia had a Chuck E. Cheese and the animatronics just went
Right.
nuts. That's
Okay,
basically
Sean, because of what you just said, I'm going to buy
Skelly's got to
them right
get the
now.
whole
I don't want
set.
to be responsible for that.
He's got to go get. See, Sean, you helped me get involved and get obsessed with Four Horsemen figures. Why
That's
could you?
good.
Instead, you got Skelly obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's Motu.
No, you don't need this. You don't need this on any level. And Brian Flynn, I think probably he had a fever dream thinking this was going to work, and just I'm looking at this going, no, on no level does this work. I'm just no.
It's like when the heads look way too big for the bodies.
Yeah,
they do, and they all look.
It looks
similar.
more like somebody's wearing a mask. Like a bunch of Motu guys are wearing masks.
Which would have been okay, like if it was like a removable and then there was another face underneath.
Yeah,
So-
I would have been cool with that. That would have made sense at least.
So you saying masks reminds me of the Masks of Power episode, where one of those was clearly a red werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's wondering, Boojaboo did some 3D files for those. You get yourself a Lord of Power Beast Man, like the retail version, and a Whiplash, and he sells the feet and the heads that you could put on there for the Masks of Power, like they came straight out of the comic.
I have to raise my hand and I have to jump in here.
By all means, Skelly. How much did you just spend on all three of these?
Everybody?
yeah.
You did not buy these? Mint on card. Terror Bat is currently going for $500.
Holy crap!
This is me now suddenly a little sad.
Right, because you can't get these.
Terror Jaguar is about $140, and another Terror Bat is available at $255, and then the one we're going to get to in a little bit here, Possessed Skeletor, $150, $187.
And you know what's funny? Out of all of the figures from this set, that's the one I like most.
I didn't like any of them, and I'm sad I didn't get them. I don't know.
That's only because you want to give them like little toy guitars and a toy drum kit and make them your Eternia Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben Cooper's dumber brother got on Eternia and dressed these things. I mean, I don't know it is.
That's another good
like
one.
Ben
It's like,
Cooper
you know what's
costumes
cool?
had their place.
But
I mean,
bat spider on your chest.
You look at these and there's nothing that defines them as a He-Man, Masters of the Universe, anything. It literally is just it's like they all look alike. There's little tiny modifications. It's just like Ben Cooper Halloween costumes. Like, okay,
You're making me love them even more.
Skelevator, you can
I need
do
to shut my mouth.
You can do better.
You can do better.
I'm never going to spend that much.
All werewolves until I suggested these for the Battle Rim report and had to look and finally notice there was a difference with the ears.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Like I literally thought they were all werewolves. I was like, but again, this is like the only werewolf like as close to a werewolf example as we can truly get from Eternia. And I've never really heard anybody talk about it until tonight.
Well, here we are. We're talking about it, making me want to get them somehow.
Of all the things I can enable you on, somehow we got you here. Oh.
Why don't the colors?
It'll never happen. I would never do that to my wife.
Why don't the colors of their belts match the colors of their spiders?
That's a good point.
I don't.
Oh my gosh.
What is going on with the ghost?
So I have a theory about that, and it's basically, remember how on Voltron, none of it was what was it? Keith was red, but he had the Black Lion kind of deal. It's that thing going on with these guys.
There's a reason for that you don't really see in the American version of the show. The original show, Japanese version, all the colors matched. There was a black colored suit and pilot.
Yeah.
And
Sven.
He dies.
He dies, yeah. He fights Prince Lothar and dies, yeah.
Yeah. After he dies, that's when the princess becomes a pilot. Yep. And then she's in the pink outfit.
Yep.
And then they swap all the lions around. Yep. And there was no pink lion for her. So that's the reason none of them match.
I know, so that's the best excuse I have on what he was asking. Because I'm like,
so what was it? A terror toad died? They had to swap their belt and bat colors.
Yeah.
Maybe they're all colorblind and share a room and just wear each other's clothes.
That's so funny.
Allison brings
this fabulous, you know.
Allison brings this up, and that does kind of make it feel a little bit more Motu, because the spider bat things on the chest do have the vibe / purpose of the original Horde bat on the Horde uniform. And I'll give it I will definitely give it that feel, because like anytime there was a new enemy faction, they all had like that one unifying thing, right? Well, with the Horde, you had the Horde symbol and they all had crossbows. With the Snake Men, they all had the snake staff, right? So with these guys, you get stupid looking goofy big heads and spider bats.
The more you talk bad about them, the more my crush grows.
And Skelly, I swear I'd get them for you if I could find them not at that price.
No,
just
because the price is ridiculous for these.
They must have been made in such low quantities.
It was it had to have been a really low quality, because honestly, we are some of the most diehard kind of Motu fans there are, and the people that watch the show, and I don't know anybody that we talk with that bought these. Like, I don't know any.
They just don't talk about it.
Bobby, I gotta ask you, because I know you did like the Club Grayskull stuff and all like that. Did you get these? If you're still watching, did you buy these? I don't think Bobby would.
I don't think
Bobby
did
not.
Yeah, well, they also weren't original Filmation either. So I'm really figuring that would not work itself out. Low quality, but also before any of the Super 7 as seen on TV figures and before Origins. Agreed. And these guys, they looked a lot like those knockoff figures from back in the day, like Galactic Heroes and stuff like that. When Origins came out and everyone was rushing to pick up 5.5 Motu stuff, that's when the price on these blew up over $50 to $80. Like I said, because like when I started looking for stuff, these popped up right away. And again, I just thought they were like I didn't even think they were like like a legit toy company, like Mexican knockoff. I thought like they were just something that somebody came up with and thought they had something cool. I was like, okay, to each their own. I'm not going to judge you for making these. Like I said, then realizing later on this was an official product release from Super 7, I'm like, okay, Brian Flynn.
Gotta love them. All right, let's keep skipping around.
All right, so Skeletor, he finds this box, which you get some black smoke coming out. And in the next slide, we see him getting wrapped up like a mummy. So he's basically Mum-Ra Skeletor.
Very, very fitting that we would get that.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, he's possessed by King Heltor, which is who's the leader of the Three Terrors. Lucky for Skeletor, he's pretty easy to get unpossessed, but we see Heltor, Skeletor addressing.
Oh boy.
So anyway, so some basically what's happening? Some water gets spilled on him, and that none of these guys can handle water. That's the weakness.
That's the weakness.
Yeah,
their big weakness. You just got to give them a bath. Get out the squirt guns. Wait, are those like Skeletor's feet? Like they really went overboard with the Mumm-Ra look.
So that's actually later on. You see Heltor. He appears, but you only see him from the legs down. We don't get to see his actual full design.
So he's totally Mumm-Ra, and those guys were like the ancient evil spirits of his tomb.
I guess so. Yeah.
Actually, that makes so much more sense now.
Yeah. So this is basically just showing where they did have some actual backgrounds from the show, which they got from James E. Talk.
Yeah.
So they had some interesting things in there. So these are the actual figures. Possessed Skeletor. I almost got him. I was actually he was good enough that I considered getting him.
Yeah.
Right, like I said, out of all the designs, this one I like the most, and it was that exact thing that you were saying. Like it's a Mumm-Ra Skeletor to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Terrorwolf.
Oh,
this is Olin Mills. Oh my God, he did an Olin Mills portrait photo.
Yes. These were the old Big Bad Toy Store photos.
Glamour shots.
Yeah.
Terror Jaguar, Terrorwolf.
Oh.
I mean, that sword's not too bad looking as far as an accessory goes, but who you gonna cut with Cobweb Axe here? Okay,
this is my favorite one. This is my favorite.
Oh my God!
I mean, I like green, but you wouldn't catch me wearing that.
That is not good.
Look at that nose.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The toys are more different than the cartoon.
I was just going to say that the toys actually are better defined, and I didn't give the toys much credit to begin with, but man, the animation on that was really rough.
Mm-hmm.
In the screen caps, but
I still
makes
gotta
a
say
little more sense.
But the extra big heads still make them look like they're the freaking animatronic band at Eternia's.
This is the singer right here.
And that is Kelly's.
It's actually his microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Night One. He looks cool with the wrapping around the webbing and all, like, or the bandages and stuff.
Yeah.
Jeff says I almost bought them but did not. You might regret that now, Jeff, though. I gotta say, for the prices they're going for.
Yeah.
Eek.
Are they going though?
Yeah, sometimes people just sit on these and they don't move.
That's the question.
Yeah, but could you imagine, like, what were you going to pay? $25 from Super 7 that many years back for this, probably? Like, their original retail price?
Yeah.
Couldn't have been that much. And
I would imagine that they were a little more than 25, though, because Super 7 was, what were they? For, like, the classics figures, it was like 35 or more a pop for those. Okay. It might have been around the same price just to keep it simple, I guess, but there was less accessories for this.
Well, and again, this would have been before those, so who knows?
Well, this was around the time when they did the Ultimates, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing on Big Bad Toy Store, if you Google it, you get these old pages. It was, I'm seeing it for $15.74, but that could have maybe it was blown out. Yeah, clearance price. Yeah,
you never know.
$400,
right?
Yeah,
like, could you imagine buying these when they were clearancing them out, getting rid of them, and now you're sitting on like each one? Even if you sold it for $100, you were like, hey. And Skelly'd be over there like,
yeah.
I've been thinking about this. Like, you walk. I've been doing this thing where I walk into Ross. And I'm trying, and I'm scoping out all the clearance stuff, thinking, what is the thing that people are going to really, really want in the future? Like, what is the scare glow of these oddball items that ended up in the clearance sections? You know,
look, I ain't gonna lie. If I saw these sitting in a Ross, I would pick them up.
Oh, I totally would. Yeah.
For like $5 a piece, I would definitely. Even at $15 a piece now, I'd probably still be in to get all of them. I would not keep those heads. I'd look to the community to help me mold.
Oh, come on!
A design, a design like this, but not this.
So if there was an Eternian sports ball, these are the mascots, and they're wearing mascot heads.
Totally.
Yes. That is 100% what this is. Yeah.
So because it's Super 7, there's also some repaints. So these are the glow in the dark versions of them. Plus, there's a all black Skeletor.
That all black one's cool.
All black ones. Yeah.
I thought that package was empty.
Right? Like I thought it was just a box. It doesn't show up well.
It's none more black. That's how black it is.
Nice.
I definitely would go for more glow in the dark than non-glow in the dark because that's just me. I love glow in the dark.
Yeah. Because when you turn off the lights, you want to know how much money you just lost buying a toy. That's exactly why you want to glow in the dark. It will constantly remind you that you have shame on your toy show.
Shame.
I'm just wondering how much the glow in the dark ones are going for now. If the regular ones are going that much, though.
Well, how much does a house go for these days? Probably what these are.
I'm not the one. I'm not the one making the slides go crazy right now. So just as a reminder, there's a ghost here doing this.
Maybe it's Brian Flynn controlling the slides. Like, please don't show this. Oh God, we're sorry. I didn't ever think this was a good idea.
All right, we got to talk about this guy.
Yeah. We keep going back. So there's the wolf demon from Witch and the Warrior, and this is just me like googling. Okay, what else do we got? So there's this guy. There's the tiger wolf from the Quest for He-Man. Gets on the polluted planet, and then the wolf bats, of course.
Wolf bats.
Love those things.
Episodes. Yep. I have two big regrets here though, because I had Wolf Armor He-Man in my folder and I didn't upload him for some reason. And then Alan mentioned Masks of Power. There was that red wolf demon. I don't know why I didn't put him in there. That would have been perfect.
I'm saying it now, right?
Yeah.
The wolf bats remind me of. There was a Ghostbusters cartoon where werewolves and vampires were fighting, and when they bit each other, they became this werewolf bat-winged creature.
Oh,
which was really awesome.
That's cool.
Ghostbusters did that episode. The little town in Transylvania.
Yeah. Yep, it was a little Transylvania town, exactly.
All right.
If you look at this image, I don't know about you guys, but when I see it, like I automatically hear their screeching noise they make.
Yes,
every time.
So distinctive.
All right. So
I can't do it.
To show off people at least the Wolf Armor He-Man, because it is kind of a cool design. Probably not the best picture, but there's that Wolf Armor He-Man. He's looking pretty cool. And again, snake armor.
Variants.
Yeah. Oh my God. So many variants in here. Although this was one of my favorite shields, though.
It is a cool shield.
Like blade and the wolf pattern on it was really neat. But there is your Wolf Armor He-Man. He's cool.
I just remember seeing that on the shelf thinking, why?
Right? Like what happened here? And it's funny because I like this figure in Origins, but at the time I was like, why didn't they just give us, I was like, I totally missed the Snake Men at this point. I was like, why did they just give us a Snake Man like King Hiss?
And I didn't like that stuff when I saw it on the shelf, but now I'm looking at it now thinking, oh, there's some great designs there.
Totally.
How we change.
That's how it always works for me. Like I see something and initially I'm not impressed with it. And then like a year later, I'm like, why didn't I buy it then? And then I look on eBay and it's like triple to quadruple the price.
Yeah, you're just like,
I didn't even have I didn't have the foresight to think that it would matter to me.
Curse of the Three Terrors.
Yes. No. Never.
No, it's totally funny that you bring that up, Sean, because I mentioned a lot that I remember when the Kickstarter for like Mythic Legions was starting, right? Like I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, these are cool. And then telling myself, oh man, like $30-$40 for a figure, that's too much. That's too much. Like thinking this price is too much. And now here I'm all like, oh hell yeah, I'll shell out that much. Like this guy, this bare bones werewolf figure,
yep,
$60. And I was totally like, it's worth every penny, and I'm gonna buy another one.
It's a conditioning thing, and that's something that I know in the case of my wife, she doesn't remotely want to understand why I can think that that's not a bad price for something. But for me, it's like, well, when I was a kid, I had crappy versions of this. Now they're making cool versions of this, and I'm willing to pay $50 because it's worth $50 because the old one didn't have 28 points of articulation and come with whatever, 50 different accessories and multiple heads that I could put on it and everything else. And,
to be a fly on the wall during that discussion.
You should surround yourself with things that make you happy.
That's right, Alan.
That is exactly
100%. Right. And not everybody understands. Like, I have a hard time understanding why people with that have a lot of money would just buy a bunch of cars. I don't understand that. There's so many other things I can think of that cost that much that would be more beneficial, probably to the world. But then at the same time, they might see my toys and be like, "What? Why would you do that?" And so,
I have a hard time understanding why Skelly wants to buy those terrors.
Oh, yeah. One of these days you will understand.
No, I kind of get it because
I'd want that glow in the dark Skeletor.
You like a lot of kind of cuter stuff, and this is kind of a mix between the cuter side and the masters.
Yeah, I like stuff that's like when the sculpt of a thing doesn't make sense. I'm excited about it. I don't know why. So yeah.
That hurts my sculptor anatomy loving heart, by the way.
Yeah, I'm also the type of person that when I see a sculpture with exaggerated proportions, intended to like convey an idea or feeling or something, I get so excited about how that messes with our perception and how we see a thing. And so, but I also just like ugly toys. So
I like what you like.
Yeah,
but
I like new adventures. So there's a lot of ugly toys there.
Yeah,
he's funny too.
Slush head makes me angry.
Oh, there's a certain amount of charm.
But I like Mutagen Man from TMNT.
There's a certain amount of charm.
Yeah, I get it. Sometimes
Mutagen Man had bigger water-filled tank.
Yeah. Mutagen Man is beautiful, and so is this guy.
He is. He's like Toxic Avenger, kind of.
Yeah.
That should be out later this year, folks.
Yeah.
What? Oh, Toxic
Avenger.
Actually, I heard
they were just making some announcements today. Oh,
really?
When I heard they
earlier
killed
today
it.
Or yesterday?
Yeah,
I heard they killed it.
Me too. But if they've changed their mind,
oh man, who was posting there? And it's funny because I thought about sharing it to one of the groups and I didn't because I was like, those guys have already seen it.
And Peter Dinklage was angry.
And now I can't think of who was sharing the news.
It was a passion project for him.
It'll take me
really
time to
looking
find
forward
it.
to
I'll
that.
look for it later. Yeah, I'll look for it later and I'll send it out.
Muckman, that's this guy's name. I couldn't. I was like, "What's his name again?" And
Muckman and Joe Eyeball.
Yeah, exactly.
So briefly, I mentioned we don't have to show that comment.
I'm totally showing it. That was the ghost.
So briefly, I mentioned sculpture because you were talking about the sculpt of those. I want to pull 2 masks here that I made that are Wolfman masks. And this is one that is, this guy's every bit of 15 years old, if not more. And I made him many years ago. And I'm actually put it on because this makes not as much sense until you see my beard in there.
I see what's happening here.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So now it makes more sense.
And then I have teeth that I wear in it. So, and you do a little bit of airbrush here to match. And I might airbrush my beard a bit to match. But this was, the ears are hidden from the earmuffs. But this was, I wear this in the show quite a bit. It's comfy. I can breathe and see. But the sculpting on it really isn't that good. You know, it's okay.
It depends on how you perceive it. Because in the right light, it could be like the best possible.
But then last week, I did one. This one.
Yeah. You did that one just last week?
Yeah, he was posting about it on IG.
And it's just the details better. Like I've gotten to be a better sculptor in that 15 years.
Yeah, that's great.
Right.
It's really good.
He was posting about making this, Skelly, and that's when I mentioned to him, we're going to be talking about Wolfmen.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I got him.
I can see that face sculpt is a little bit inspired by the wolf vampire from
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah.
What's funny is it's not. I always do a reference sheet. Like I do a bunch of them, and I love that werewolf. By the way,
me too. It's one of the best.
I always do a reference sheet for my sculpture, so I have a bunch of different things to look at while I'm sculpting. It was not on there, but blending all the ones that I did together got me kind of that look. And I even mentioned that to Oz because he mentioned something, and I said, yeah, it ends up looking like the one from Bram Stoker's. So I see it too.
Yeah, it's funny how like certain things can embed themselves in our subconscious and they come out in our art without us even, whether we planned it or not. There it is. I love that. I
just got a very important notification, and I'm going to announce it here to everybody.
Oh.
My Store Horseman in stock sale order finally shipped. I just thought I should declare that for everybody. I've only been waiting all month. Honestly, I'm just so spoiled by them. You know, being on the East Coast, every time like they put up the figure obscure and I order it, like that thing ends up getting shipped out to me like 2 to 3 days later. I got it before the end of the week, kind of thing.
That's amazing.
So
meanwhile, my Big Bad Toy Store shipment that has been stuck in Stockton for the past 5 days. What is it doing there?
Well, see,
and also, it's frustrating because I could drive to Stockton in half a day.
That's also what happens to me too, right? It'll go It'll go from Jersey. It'll come down here to Baltimore. It'll say it is stopped in a Baltimore distribution center overnight. Then the next morning, it will go down to Washington, D.C. It will stay overnight in D.C., even though that is a 45-minute drive away. Skelly, you know, we came down to visit you when you were there. Didn't take us long.
Nope.
And then it comes back to Baltimore every time. Like, why is it there? All right, so it says it should be here by the 27th. We'll see. That would be
that's
Saturday.
Awesome.
Or no, that'll be next week. Almost here. I've been waiting for this all month.
We've got the waiting is a good transition to this because there's two things that I'm waiting for. The first thing, Oz, did you have a special way of presenting this information?
So I just wanted to take a look at a lot of these really cool modern werewolf toys. And I realized I left out the Kessler wolf that I was looking for since I had a NECA example. Now, NECA has not released much information on this. They really put out a teaser on the day of the full moon. For those of you who don't know, I think what caused the wolf craze for all of us was that January's full moon is called the wolf moon.
Mm-hmm.
So NECA put out this teaser that they are doing the Howling.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But this is all we have right now. No idea when pre-orders are going to go up or when it's going to be in stock, when we'll be able to get it from NECA. And this is the only image too, so we can't even tell like how the rest of it's going to look, which kind of bums me out because I wanted to see the rest of it because NECA has some competition. Because about a year and a half ago, we got this announcement from Syndicate Collectibles that they are doing the Howling Werewolf in the same scale.
That's my favorite werewolf look. The Eddie Quist Howling.
It's so good. Yeah.
So
awesome.
They've actually done some more updated shots, and unfortunately, it was all on their Instagram, and I hate when an image has like the arrow on it or anything like that, so I couldn't really give us a good detailed look. But this is going to come with a couple of different head sculpts. They're going to have open, they're going to have closed. I believe even one of them has like the ears going back a little bit more. Because this was a very early on image from when they announced that they were getting the license. Because the color doesn't even look like this bright of a brown anymore. It's much darker, almost black.
Okay.
But I'm excited because we get both of them. And now, like I said, since I've had this guy, I kind of want to get like these other werewolves too and make my own little wolf pack. And this is a great way that even though this is a Howling, werewolf and the other one's from the Howling as well. And again, same character, Eddie Quist. It's cool that they both are going to look different enough that I could say it's two completely different wolves. Like, I want to get two of him, right? But they're both going to look exactly the same. Whereas if I get this one from Syndicate and I get the other one from NECA, they're going to look different. There's different sculpting detail. Either way, though, the fact that we're actually getting toys... There's been statues and stuff like that for the avid horror collector and all like that for years. But there hasn't been like toys or demand for toys for this. Well, not that there's demand, there's been want at least for toys of this for a long time. And I'm excited we're getting them. Now, mind you, for me, I always felt they looked more like dogs than wolves. But at the same point in time, it's still really cool. It's exciting. And I can't wait to get either of these, if not both of them, in my collection. And since Syndicate Collectibles are kind of like these new kids on the block, I'm just excited to see what they're putting out anyway. They also are doing like a Soft Goods Golden Girls line. Not Golden Girl like the She-Ra, counterpart, but like actual Golden Girls from like the TV show. And I want to get a set of them. I want to check them out.
I think I've seen those. Yeah, I think I've seen them.
Yeah, so I want to get those.
I'd want to see what this looks like in person, like because I feel like I'm familiar with the way NECA figures look. Like just seeing that image, I already know what it's going to feel like in my hand, and I can sort of imagine it right in front of me.
Right.
But this, I can't. I would want to see what it looks like in person.
So
before jumping on it,
what I'll do.
Oz,
yeah,
I just sent you clean pictures of that Howling Werewolf toy.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I was actually just about to bring up their IG, but if you just sent them to me, then I'll.
Yeah, look in your messages.
Hold on here.
Yeah, I'm with you, Alan. This is, one of my top 2 favorite designs. It's amazing, and that transformation sequence is so much fun and so well done.
All right, so it's going to cover up this real quick because we're going to have this.
Okay.
So this is one of the shots you can see. Again, it's a darker color.
Oh. Is this the NECA?
You got
is that the NECA one?
No, this is the Syndicate Collectibles.
Syndicate. Okay, yeah.
So, interesting, because it doesn't look as detailed. Well, again, it doesn't look nearly as detailed. I love this portrait.
That's nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how that looks.
The head shape is different from the Howling.
Yeah.
The tilt on his ears are different because what makes the Howling to me stand out so much is that silhouette.
Very
it's the
much
big
so.
ear silhouette, and with the ears kicked that way, it doesn't. Well, maybe this head might have the ears kicked the right direction, but it's a side shot, so you don't know. But that one,
even the angle.
Yeah, I don't think it would read as Howling to me.
Right? Like it's supposed to be like almost straight up and like scooped,
Mm-hmm.
And these are a little bit and like I said, I knew they were doing a head where they looked more back, and this looks even more back than that other one that we were just looking at.
I mean, I'm still gonna get it.
That's right. I'm not gonna.
It's a really cool werewolf. It's a really cool werewolf.
Yeah,
it'll still look cool. But yeah, like, and again, we know what to expect from NECA, right? Like, we know what NECA's going to bring to the table. Their plastic has gotten much better over the years, so I'm not too worried about it snapping right out of the box. I'm still going to heat it up and treat it real good with a lot of love. But yeah, like you can see already where it's different looking from what they originally showed here, which almost looks like they just digitized straight out of the movie to what we were just looking at.
Yeah, it's a different figure essentially.
Right? Yeah, it almost looks like a completely different thing.
The ear silhouette is right.
Yep.
The amount of chops is as good as you could get because they were very hairy.
Yes,
the hair was part of that silhouette and the way they caught light. Right? So that would be tough to do in a plastic toy. But
now, one thing I will say about this when I first saw it is it almost looks like a terrier.
Yeah, I see.
And now I can't not see it.
That's so funny. Why did you have to say that? No, I can't see anything.
I don't feel like the snout's long enough.
There's a touch schnauzer there.
Yeah.
Right? Right? But yeah, so these are 2 great new wolves that are going to be coming up for pre-order real soon. Then there are these bad boys.
Ooh.
Crips the Great Wolves. Now these guys are beasts. They're 10 inches. There are 4 of them. 3 of which are currently still available on BBTS right now. Of course, it's got where the slideshow is right in the way of where their names are because I don't have their names memorized. So the brown one here is of the South. It's South.
Garros of the South.
Yes, Garros of the South.
Or Garros of the South.
Yeah, that sounds better. Garros of the South, and it's V something of the North.
Vodak.
Vodak. Okay, that might be it.
Voslak or something.
Voslak.
Or maybe it is Vodak. Yeah.
Thanos knows. Thanos got him. And then, of course, we've got Morocco of the West. And I'm digging him, like, because, again, he kind of reminds me of my Kilowog over here. And the only one that is currently sold out is Dillim of the East. Mm-hmm. And he's really wicked. He's the all black one there on the right. He's got scarring over the eye and everything else. Like, he's the only one that's got like a unique head sculpt out of the three, like very unique. You see his teeth look a little bigger, his muzzle, it's a little bit more narrow. His ears are definitely more narrow and laid back. I mean, it looks a little like this one, but I don't know. It's definitely different. So these guys are pricey bad boys. Absolutely love them. Huge, ginormous figures. My only problem is for the price you're paying, a lot of people are kind of complaining about the joints on them a little bit. Like they're really super tight. And then if you do anything to loosen them, then they become a little loosey-goosey, and then he's hard to stand up.
That sucks.
Thanos was having the issue.
They're about $100.
Yeah, $94.99.
Wow.
That's over my limit for a figure.
Yeah.
For me, like, unless it's like something like the Headless Horseman or like some kind of figure 2-pack or something like that. This is like $100 per wolf.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
As much as I love how they look and I think it's great, I got this guy for $60. And to me, he does exactly for me the same thing that these guys would do, except they're just bigger. They are slightly bigger. Next up, this is the same sculpt as the Kilowog here. It's the Sebadom sculpt. These are from Maestro Union, Fure Planet. You may have seen the Crocker toy where it was like that alligator. It was that not Leatherhead from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
He was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, this is the Veteran Williams. This was the first time that we saw Sebadom sculpt on a official figure from somebody. They've come out with 2 different versions of them. Of course, we have this one here where he looks more like the one on the right where he looks more like a veteran. He's even got dog tags on. He's got this sweet like trench knife on his back and a sawed-off shotgun. Looks absolutely amazing. They did this white one where he looks more like a lumberjack, and that one appropriately comes with like different accessories. He comes with like a chainsaw and some other goodies. The white one is still available. The brown one, because that was out like 2 years ago, not available anymore. Yeah, really hard time finding that guy. But the white one's still up on BBTS right now. You can still pick them up. This guy is also around $100. Now, mind you, he does come with like all the different parts, right? Like he comes with the jacket, he comes with the jeans and stuff. You can take the jeans and this waist off, and then you can put just regular bare white legs in. You take the jacket off. Like you can make him like where he's just fully decked out as a regular werewolf, or you can have him with the clothes on. And I saved my favorite for last. This is the Operation Monster Force. On the left, we have the Primal Kilowog, which is the toy that you've been seeing me play with for the last several weeks here, who has not... He's been on my desk since I've opened him, and I can't stop looking at him. I absolutely love this toy. The other version is the deluxe version called the Night Hunter. This is the one that's actually like part of the squad. Like it's an official member, like a named member. That's why he's Night Hunter. He comes with that trench coat. He also comes with like a puffy jacket. You may have seen those with that Veteran Williams figure already, kind of like. He's got this really cool wrist gauntlet with predator claws, comes with a ginormous Gatling gun. Freaking absolutely amazing. And then again, he also comes with the pants, and then you can take the pants parts off and then put on like bear werewolf legs and basically make him look like the primal Kilowog as well. So again, absolutely just yet another amazing werewolf toy currently out on the market. The Primal Kilowog. Unfortunately, Night Hunter is all sold out, but you may be able to pick them up off of some other people. The Night Hunter came out first. It's an $85 figure because it comes with a lot of extra pieces. And then later they released the Primals on their own. And those, again, they're significantly cheaper. Like I said, it's a $25 difference. But
Alan, you raised your hand, right?
I did. I don't like my werewolves to have firearms.
Oh yeah, I'm.
I don't blame you. I don't think they need it.
95% of the canines I know are afraid of fireworks.
Right.
I can't see them willingly making all that noise with their sensitive hearing. Let alone none of these werewolves with their super sensitive hearing are wearing earmuffs or ear protection for their firearms.
It's true. That's true.
Someone didn't think about that.
So Alan just sent me this other really cool werewolf toy here.
And I have one of those, and that's why I sent it to you. And I got him on sale. He was $40 when I got him on sale. This is
I wish you were still available at 40.
Snowfield something by something China something. But he's a really good werewolf.
Snowfield Slaughter Bloody White Werewolf. Standard version, 1/12 scale by Ku Model. And I'm guessing that's Wushang.
But better job
my
than
Chinese isn't great, so I can't exactly say it.
I immediately
this
took
figure's
off all
ridiculously. Right. I also like my werewolves in the buff.
I don't mind a ripped white. A ripped white shirt is cool. A ripped white shirt, a la Oliver Reed in Curse of the Werewolf, like the gothic horror romance werewolf.
Yeah,
he's in a white shirt, black shredded pants. So, but this is him next to Kilowog, and you can see just Kilowog is just so much beefier of a figure.
Yeah,
but this is a good looking figure. Kilowog has a tail. This werewolf has oddly smooth buns.
It's so funny.
It's a little awkward how smooth his butt is when all the rest of him is textured.
Damn cheeks.
That sculptor has a good sense of humor.
But these guys are.
It's like the reverse of most men. That thing has got hair everywhere but his ass.
So, yeah, I really liked this. Boy, what a mouthful. Bloody Snowfield Wolf.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right? Yeah, it's got a Snowfield Slaughter Bloody White Werewolf. It almost sounds like an English person's cursing him. Snowfield Slaughter Bloody White Werewolf.
He's a good figure.
Oz has something prepared here.
All right, we ready? With a quick reveal. Damn cheeks!
I don't know. I don't think Slimer works out as much as this werewolf does not skip on squats.
No, he don't. He got them. He like Dick Grayson thick in the booty.
Oh my gosh.
And as again, the show's taking a turn for the worse.
Sorry for my involvement in that.
It's okay. Bust out the mix and the hot dogs.
That was 5 minutes for the ages right there. I have one thing that I know I'll be able to get, and I'm really excited to finally be able to get something like this, but this is next on my list, I think, for next month. But this guy in the Netherlands, the Next 17, makes these Kenner style action figures and of figures that we never had in the Kenner line. And in
this the vintage Kenner line.
In the vintage Kenner line. And this is the werewolf from the or the Wolfman. I can't even tell, but he's in the cantina scene in the original Star Wars.
Lax Sivrak.
Yeah, love it.
Did you ever pick up the Power of the Force 2 one?
No, I did not. I'm just not. This is the shape, and this is the shape that I like hunger.
I hear you, but it's always fun to get that one too.
Yeah, maybe I will. It's like $3, right?
Right. It's like $2. If they put them on the impulse line as you're walking out the door, you can't say no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw you talking about these guys the other day on your video, and just with the baby Wampa.
Yeah.
What a great guy, like doing these kind of pet projects. I've seen his stuff for a while now. Outstanding.
And the quality of the action figures, like it's like the real deal. It feels, and the weight of it, the texture of the plastic, it feels like an authentic Kenner action figure. So yeah, I'm excited to get this little Wolfman in my collection pretty soon here.
I'm pumped for you because I think that's absolutely great. Again, there's something that I just love seeing about, even though again I'm more of a Power of the Force 2 guy, because that was what was available for me as a kid shopping in stores. But I still just have this lovely nostalgia feel, like walking around at like the flea market or the yard sales and seeing the Darth Vader carrying case open with all the figures just sitting in there. Not an accessory in sight because nobody had those still. Yeah. But just, seeing those figures like that. And again, I don't collect them necessarily myself, but I think there's such fond memories of looking at those. Yeah, and I'm glad that I get to enjoy them through your collection.
Thanks. Yeah. There's something about that's why I love the reaction figures too.
Yeah. And again, if that's what, like I said, they're too steep in the price for me, but I never I think it's great when you pick them up, because then I can live vicariously through you. Of course, if I ever find a freaking Oscar the Grouch, I'm picking it up. I'm totally picking up an Oscar the Grouch because I've got to get it for the trash can action.
It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
I love the fact that they're a 3.5, very, very simplistic articulation. And yet they were still like, we're going to put an action feature on Oscar the Grouch. And I'm like, yes, give it to me.
Amazing.
That one I will buy, and I will pay $20 for it, just because the lid can open and shut on the trash can. It's something that simple just makes me think that's totally worth it, and I love it.
It's awesome.
So I have a bunch of toys, like werewolf toys, Wolfman toys, and I don't exactly. This is one of the bendy figs.
Oh yeah,
but it's from the Wolfman with Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Like, that's the modeling on it. I so wish this was, I hate to say a real action figure, but I so wish this had articulation, because it's such a good looking figure.
His face is amazing.
And that we did not get any good toys from that aside from this bendy fig.
And it's funny you bring that up, because when I was looking at this stuff earlier and we were talking about it, Underworld. Right? Now, mind you, again, I know that was a movie that was strictly made for adults. It was never thought to have kids in mind per se. But the guy who if you don't know, in the first movie, there's that one werewolf, and it's the big black guy. He is actually the creator of the Underworld series, and he was originally creating it to be a comic book. And then he got involved, instead of doing it as a comic book, started making it into movies. But he's the actual creator of the movies. And I would have loved that maybe if this were made into a comic book, we might have seen something like that. Because the werewolves in that, I really like. I know not everybody's a fan of them. Because again, sometimes they're a little more monster and a little less wolf.
They're a little feline in their appearance, in their profile.
A little bit, because they don't have as sharp as a muzzle. It's a little more stunted, right?
I like
it doesn't
them.
Seem like it's fully seen, but I do enjoy them.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
total derail, but
not at all. Comes right along in here.
Yeah, and they did this way back, and I had these toys back in the day. All of the Universal Monster Turtles crossover, but they did a really good job on this new line. They're pretty good.
I have the creature Leonardo, and it's an amazing piece of art. It's really beautiful.
So
that guy looks good too.
One of the things that I found so funny was that when that line came out and they were doing the crossovers, there was a bunch of people who were all like, they don't need to cross the Ninja Turtles over with everything, and they don't need to cross the Universal Monsters over with everything. And it's like, this isn't just some new thing that NECA decided to cook up, guys. They did this back in the 90s. Like, it was a legitimate, like they did two or three waves of them crossing over with the Universal Monsters, and they did it exactly like how they did it this time. Yes, Alan.
I have a mystery toy.
I like mysteries.
I don't know where it's from. I freaking love it, but I don't know what series it is.
Bring it
why
up.
It is.
Find out.
I know nothing.
All right, let's see if I can do this. What the crap?
Isn't he wonderful? I had a Monster Camp student.
Bear.
Bring the. I don't think it's a bear. Look at that profile. He's so
look
snouty.
Look at that stubby tail.
And the ears.
He does have a stubby tail, but look at that long head.
It is a long head, but it's a very cartoony-esque. But how many inches would you say? It's like, what, 13?
12, 13. Yeah, 13.
And
that's crazy.
It's vinyl, PVC. Right? PVC?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's a vinyl PVC, something like that. It's got articulation in both legs and the arms, and in the head. I don't know what it is. A student of mine from Monster Camp brought me this and said, I saw this and it reminded me of you, so I brought it for you. And he's gorgeous.
Yeah, he's amazing. His face sculpt almost looks like it's inspired by the bears that would show up in the earlier Disney shorts. Like the scary bears that
was exactly what I was thinking, Skelly.
Yeah,
something like that.
Like the Bear Jug Band villains. Do they have those?
That would be really amazing if the Country Bear
Jamboree. That's it.
Jamboree. If they had villains in there, that would have been amazing. If they would have looked like this.
This was I just identified in the chat.
Oh,
it is a mutant grizzly bear from Bass Pro Shop. What
is that really what it is?
Yeah, because I just looked it up. I just Googled it for an image search, and it's this. What else did they make? Bass Pro Shop makes toys.
Bass Pro Shop.
This thing
they
is awesome.
do make toys, but I didn't know they made these.
I only thought of Bass Pro Shop as the Republican version of REI, but it's
totally.
This is a good toy.
That's a very cool toy.
Sure enough.
I wonder how much they're going for on eBay. Do you think they're as much as
you can currently buy one for $50 according to this.
Oh.
All right, Mutant Grizzly Bear, Bass Pro Shop,
a foot
Tough
tall,
Guys,
Skelevator.
13-inch.
This is a lot of plastic. Like, this is a toy that can hug you. Like, this is a big toy.
That's cool.
I was looking to see, like, I didn't put in
amazing
at all. I didn't put in bear just because I wanted to see what other mutated 13-inch toys they were doing. Unfortunately, the bear is the only one they've ever done.
Wow. Why? It's so wonderful.
Right? Like, I'm digging it. I'm not mad about it.
They should change what they do and just start making toys.
They should.
Well, they've got toy lines, but it's all revolved around camping and like survival.
Yeah.
But
that sounds
and mind
amazing.
you can get some neat sets too to like add out, like you get like, you know, some fire camping supply type stuff like for your action figures and all. But yeah, they've got a lot of different sets, just no more of this mutated stuff, which is, it's a bummer because I was all excited about more mutated animals and they only have a bear, which
Like,
is cool. I love bears.
So camping and hunting props for action figures, like toy photographers, are you hearing this? Bass Pro Shops.
Oh yeah, you can get it.
That's
well,
cool.
the problem is most of them are like 3.75 and we're all collecting like, you know, 1/12. So they tend to be a little small, depending. It's true, Skelly. This is right up your alley. You can finally have the barbecue at the cantina.
That's right. The barbecue on Dagobah.
There it is. Dagobah Barbacoa.
Or if your old Universal Monsters figures need a bass boat, you know.
Yes.
They've got one.
Amazing.
For sure. or a set of antlers like on some string for a necklace for no. Why does this guy have like a 5-point buck necklace? Like, who's dangling those antlers? Okay, I think it's actually just some kind of trophy he could string up, but that's what it's showing me. And apparently, mind you, this is, well, I think Bass Pro Shop bought Cabela's. I was like, why? Like, it's advertised by Cabela's, but yeah, like this is the kind of stuff you can get, guys. Like, again, you got like some
amazing.
Cool campfire accessories. Got his little ATV that he's gonna haul around in his truck that's only like an inch taller.
It's a
a
tree
little
stand.
static beard and deer stand, right? The
This
tree
is
stand, but no
crazy.
tree to put it in. No tree to put it in. Where am I putting this? Where is my Ewok hunting village?
Wow.
He should totally be in the Endor set hunting Ewoks.
That's not where I was going with that.
This is
but
amazing.
yes.
Like, people, Bass Pro Shops.
Have a little
Bass
wicket
Pro
hanging
Shop.
by his ankles.
If
Oh my
anybody,
god,
okay,
I love it.
if anybody in this chat watching this right now, if you order that stuff from Bass Pro Shops and you take some photographs, please send them to us because we want to see it. And we will talk about it for 2 hours and 42 minutes on the next episode.
Can I just say though, I'm really proud that I called that was a bear, and it definitely was.
It was a bear.
Oh, beautiful.
I know my bears. I know that.
This
Classic.
is one of the Universal Monsters Burger King toys.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Wait, what? That's a Burger King one?
Yeah.
I almost thought that was the Remco one again.
No, that's the Burger King one.
Sean, hold up your Remco one real quick.
Well, they were very much in the same style. They were in the same. They're in the same style, a little bit more updated. But for a Happy Meal toy, that's a wonderful toy.
It is. Yeah.
I would have killed for a Happy Meal. Like, you remember when you always get like the McDonald's, like the little transforming food stuff was kind of cool.
Yeah,
like some of the
those were
other
cool.
ones were pretty neat. But then, like,
The
most of
best.
the time when you got like an action figure from them, they were kind of lame. There were a couple of exceptions where it was like an actual action figure. The He-Man Masters of the Universe kids meal toys were actually like action figures. And when the Power Rangers movie came out, they were like actual action figures, like little 3.75 5 POA
You have to be careful if you are buying a 200X Beastman on eBay, because the Burger King one looks so close to the regular action figure,
almost identical.
You can buy the wrong one.
Yeah.
I'm saying not that I bought the wrong one a couple times by accident, but I did. Yeah. I'm like, wow, what a great price.
But the funny part is, though, as soon as you mentioned it, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
I did Yosemite Sam cussing because I got the wrong one.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, I was trying to fix our layouts here because I just looked odd.
All right. Well, here's what we're gonna do, because we're getting close to the end here. We have something to give away. We have this Wolfman. This is the Universal Monsters Wolfman Toonie Terrors. And I saw something with glowing eyes that Alan was showing us.
Yes.
Alan, can you bring that back? I want to see what that looks like real quick.
This was a little. They're called Scream and Shrieks.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. I can't hear it. I hear something trying.
Ooh.
He's very quiet now. His batteries are not so good. I've had him for a couple years.
Yeah, he's
but
cute.
I can see why his batteries are a little worn down. He's fun to play with.
He is.
Like, it's hard to get mad about batteries dying when you've had so much fun playing with the damn thing.
All right, so I have the question I'm going to ask, folks. So if you were here earlier when Adam presented the Battle Ram report, I did pull some information from one of those slides and what we were talking about. So this is how it goes. The very first person whose answer to this question shows up, the very first person who answers and it shows up on our side in the chat, you're the winner. So, all right. Everybody ready for the trivia question?
I'm not eligible because I'm on.
Alan always wins, and then donates the winnings to Ace. And
I learned through lecture, so because I learned through lecture, I can remember if it was said or I saw it. You know,
that's good. Let's see if you don't say anything. You'll probably get this. When we were looking at the scene of Skeletor and Beastman and Merman, they're out looking for the death metals. They were at the base of Mount Prometheus, and in which canyon is Mount Prometheus located?
Ooh.
The canyon of...
I've already put it in private chat.
Yep.
Darn right, Alan. Darn right.
Let's see. So Broman's answer is best McDonald's toy ever. No, that's a comment from previously. Is anybody in
Inspector
the chat?
Gadget was the most epic. That's the Ken. Everybody's rewinding right now to that very beginning.
Anybody got it. That's a first.
Everybody. See, Alan totally would have stolen this one again because he nailed it.
Yep. Well, should I ask?
God, they had Duck Dynasty branded toys. I'm still looking at Bass Pro Shop toys. The best. That's all anybody can think of now is Bass Pro Shops.
So I also remembered that because there's what they called like the Eternia Bible that they wrote like before the show.
Oh yeah.
And it talked a lot about the Crystal Sea and all of the different forests and all of the different places and where the orcs lived and what kind of and that kind of stuff. And it's so long. And there's a guy who's saying it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, was the Spider Canyons? Oops, I said it out loud. I shouldn't have said that.
We're going to need a new question.
We need a new question.
I'm sorry. Was that in that Bible? You know?
Was it? I mean, I've listened to that too, and I remember zero from it. I think it just put me to sleep right away.
It's kind of like the Silmarillion, where it just kind of goes on and on. It's like stereo instructions for a universe.
Yeah.
Has anyone commented?
No. Give it to Alan.
Give it to Alan E1 fair and square. Just squashed it right on live.
So as per tradition,
Alan wins.
You win. But
I didn't mean to.
Here's the deal, though. As per tradition, you got to pick somebody from the chat for me to send it to.
Look, Kenzo just got the right answer.
So we're giving it to Kenzo.
Let's go with Kenzo, and Kenzo will appreciate that.
Just message me on Instagram your address, and I will send it off to you.
Although I really do enjoy Bass Pro Shops Canyon as well.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, that was a good answer too.
Best
again,
that's all anybody can think about now. They're all mystified by Bass Pro Shop toys.
But you guys also remembered that, right? You knew what the answer was.
I did.
I did because but
of course, like we're actually paying attention through the whole thing.
I'm like paying so close attention to what Adam says just so I can write down a trivia question that I'm learning more than ever before.
I thought Skelly was
I am never more heard. Right? I am by Skelly with a giveaway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the truth is we learn a lot from you. Like, it's not like we know all the information that you're giving out already before we go through your slideshow. We're engrossed in what you have to say during the Battle Ram report as much as anybody in the audience is, because we're fans, and it's great that we can still learn new stuff. I know a lot of people will say, like, you know a ton about Masters Universe, and I'm like, I only know what other people have put out there for me to learn. Right? Like, because I remember playing with the toys, but 90% of it, you got to remember, I couldn't read the mini comics back then. Mm-hmm. I looked at the pretty artwork that fascinated me and played with the toys and then watched the cartoon. So for me, I'm learning a lot of this stuff now. And like, again, through He-Man.org, I learned a ton over the years from that. Adam, from you starting up the Battle Ram blog and doing everything. This is where I'm gaining most of this knowledge from. It's not like I have some kind of encyclopedia of Masters of the Universe. I got to learn it from somewhere too. So I really appreciate those segments and pay attention.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Also, I want to make Spider Canyons in my Eternia now.
Well, it's not in the Bible. I did check I have a Word document of that Bible, and it's not in there. But I learn stuff too. From I don't, no one person knows everything. I learn new things every month from other people too. So we're all learning together.
We're all on this journey together. So the comment in the there you go. There's the that's a custom of that Beastman, isn't it, Alan?
I made the CGI one into an Origins.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He does feel very like a different paint job. This is a Wolfman. You're absolutely right.
Totally. Yeah. Absolutely.
A nice silhouette on that head.
Yeah, that's good. Well, since we're at the end of our Wolfman episode, aside from like huge thank yous, Alan and Sean, for popping in. Alan, you're always welcome to come back as a guest. So thank you for being here tonight. But what we usually do is we say what we're up to, anything coming up. So guys, anything exciting coming up for you?
I'm about to buy this Timber Scout pink toy rifle.
Yeah. Oh my god!
No, look at this! Look at this!
That rifle looks pretty good.
It's amazing.
I was just going to get Monster Force figures and
Look at
Bass
that.
Pro Shops toys.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, that pink stands out. I like it.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hoping for. Then I'm gonna get on disability. No.
There you go.
So I don't know what. So Oz is gonna go get that gun.
Mhm.
How about you guys?
I'm up to nothing, so I'll pass it on to Alan. I'm literally, my schedule is clear. It's the typical. I'm just working and doing my deadlines and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but if something comes up, I will let people know.
Yeah.
I just became very jealous of you, Sean. That sounds like you might even have some recreational time.
No, that's the
Okay.
problem. I am literally wall to wall deadlines and family and kids, and this is my fun time right now. So
Got it.
that is not recreation time included in any of that. No.
Got it. So I have a number of projects coming up. Dark Hour Haunted House is the one that me and my wife own. That's in Plano, Texas, and we're opening on the Saturday right after Valentine's Day for a show we call Dead by Dark Hour, which is a ton of fun. People can die inside. It's weird. And I'm actually working on, I don't mind saying this, it's not like a secret project, but I'm working on a haunted house park up in Fresno, which is near Skelevator, and that'll be open in 2025. But any haunted house around you, go to it. It is just like action figures. If you think about it and you look, you'll find a lot of artistry that you didn't expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's light design, sound design, character creation, mask making, whatever it is, there's a lot of cool art at haunted houses, and it's 360. And just wherever you are, go to a local haunt.
Yeah. Support that art, because that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you're in town, Alan, we gotta get together and make a video and put it on our YouTube channels.
I know what I want to do, because there's something I want to show you for making stuff.
Cool. Love it. Adam, how about you?
So I've got quite a lot. So it's 10th anniversary of Battle Ram Blog this year. So I've been cranking out a lot of content. Recently did something on Slushhead. Sorry, Alan. I did. Tomorrow I've got some lost newspaper strips from Danielle Galerter that's going out in an article tomorrow. And then I've got something on the Conan He-Man history coming out next week for the public.
That's awesome. And
then I've got toy collector article coming out next month. So thanks to a certain bearded person whose first name starts with O, I'm also looking forward to getting a
not just me
review copy of the Mondo Skyslit.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, and then thanks to another beard. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Don't give me all the credit for that. Don't give me.
Well, I don't think it'd be happening without you. So
that's awesome.
I know a guy.
Yeah. Thanks to another bearded guy whose name starts with S, I'm getting a good deal on a Mondo, He-Man, and Skeletor with which to pose these.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Looking forward to that as well.
That's fantastic. I love that.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Alan?
I love how Alan just keeps raising his hand.
I've talked a lot. I know, like, tonight's focus is werewolves, and werewolves excite me very much. So I have been very chatty this evening.
That's a good thing, yes.
Maybe to the detriment of the program. I'm not sure. But just when Adam was mentioning the 10-year anniversary of the Battle Ram blog, I did this, which is a fist pump of, yes, that's great. But that reminded me of when you see a semi truck as a kid and you ask it to corn. And that made me think, What does the horn on the battle ram sound like? What does the horn sound like?
That's what
it
I
makes
want to
a
know
noise.
Too.
It's got to make a noise.
I'm picturing like one of those like deep like freaking horns. Like not quite like an air horn from a truck, but like one of those deep
like the big,
horns.
Big Gondor horn.
Yeah, like something like that.
Or maybe it plays La Cucaracha.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's awesome.
That would be Skelly's version of Eternia, yes. If you watch the preview to Inception, they always have those wah things in between parts. That I think it would be, because if you just did that in front of somebody when you're coming at them, that would knock them on their butt going, what the hell did I just hear?
Or like the War of the Worlds noise.
Yes,
oh, yeah.
Exactly.
It's a very similar noise. Very similar
exactly.
noise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not Auga? Not nobody? Not Auga?
Oh, maybe it just plays the beginning of the theme song. Maybe it just goes da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly.
He just plays his theme when he shows up.
Why not? Pumps him up a little bit more, extra power.
I let's see. What's coming up for me? Well, Cambridge and with Sean has a new episode recorded, but we're not going to post it anytime soon because my good friend Mark had an accident. He's okay. He fell off of a ladder, but he's all right, and so he's not going to be editing that for a little bit. I just saw him yesterday. He's doing good. I'm waiting on some things that seem to be stuck in the mail. That Superman that I ordered, stuck in the mail. The Big Bad Toy Store order that I put in, stuck in the mail. And I'm really excited to make some videos about the things that that are coming to me. So that's about all I can think of. Except I still do have a plan to start working on fixing up my Castle Grayskull that I built, my very first build, when the weather starts warming up. So that'll be fun. And then Alan the whole time is showing all this amazing flexing werewolf and wolfman.
Wolfman socks.
That's amazing. Oh, Oz. Yeah.
I was just sharing my Wolfman stuff while everybody was talking.
I love it. You have a lot of Wolfman stuff.
I have a problem.
Wolfman's got nards.
Can we give some appreciation to the Wolfman from Monster Squad, because that is one of my favorite designs of the Wolfman also.
I so wish we had toys for him.
Hasn't there been some?
No. And honestly, people online are actually hoping NECA does something with that, since they're doing the Universal monsters.
Universal license, right?
I really think they should, because it fits so well with what they're. I mean, they did the freaking Rob Zombie monster or the Munsters movie figures.
I know.
So why don't they do something good like Monster Squad? You know, I mean,
it feels like such a missed opportunity. Like even from when we were kids, there were no Monster Squad toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like you had kids fighting the Universal monsters, and nobody said, let's make toys of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, seriously?
How did we get RoboCop toys, but we got no Monster Squad toys?
Yeah,
or how did we get Alien toys and there's no Monster Squad?
I mean, how many
13-inch Xenomorph?
There's probably 30 of them. Like, how many do we need?
Monster Squad is in my top 5 movies.
It's one of the best.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great movie to go back and watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's been one of my favorites since I was a kid, and like to this day, I still get excited to watch Monster Squad, Goonies, even the first TMNT movie, right?
Yeah.
Like that first Ninja Turtles.
It's fun.
It's a classic. Like I get excited, and I gotta order pizza every time I watch it. Not Domino's, because it sucks. You know, I think back to the Like, I'll order Pizza Hut, and I don't even like Pizza Hut like that anymore, but I'll order Pizza Hut just because of the freaking commercial at the beginning of the VHS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gets you hungry.
Yep.
I love watching the suits, like the animatronic rubber suits worn by people, and how
Jim Henson, man. Like,
Jim
come
Henson's
on.
studio is amazing stuff.
It was magic. They took that and brought it to life. Alan, you have your hand raised.
We're all trying to leave. I know. Can we talk about Universal Monsterland at Epic Universe? In Universal,
the Dark Universe thing that they're finally doing.
Epic Universe. Epic is the park, I think it's called.
Right,
but
and
there's a whole Universal Monster Island.
Dark Universe.
I'm really excited about it.
With a Wolfman roller coaster and a Frankenstein castle.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that, but I've seen a lot of pictures that I shouldn't have seen. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of the animatronics, and they look amazing.
So I love the fact that they took the name for what was going to be their cinematic universe, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not doing that," because I got really mad to find out that they took an entire building. Because this just sounds amazing to me. They took an entire building, dedicated it to the Universal Monsters. And each floor was dedicated to a different monster.
Mm-hmm.
So that they could house and plan out this ginormous cinematic universe that was all interconnected. And Tom Cruise's short ass came in and screwed everything up because he is Tom Cruise. And then they were like, we're going to foreclose on that. We're not going to finish paying for that building. We're done with that building. But now they've kind of like revitalized the idea with doing that island.
It's better that it's a land, because I feel like some of the most successful parts of Universal that I've seen lately is the Harry Potter area, because it's a believable space that you're walking through, as opposed to stops on a tram tour or like like the Jurassic Park ride where you start and end. And this is having a monsters land where you can just walk around, and
I'm so excited,
and just get all that sensory monster stuff. Like, it sounds great. I'm excited about it.
Right. And that's the thing for me too, because like, as cool as I thought it was that they had this giant building just geared towards the Universal Monsters, guess where they're not going to let me show up, right? Like, I wouldn't be invited to that. But guess where I can go as a paying customer?
Mm-hmm.
Theme park. And I can enjoy every inch of it. And it's a hell of a lot bigger than one building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Now we're going to get Alan to tell us the secret that he couldn't tell us.
Well, first, I was going to say, it's been fun. And I'm going to go through and talk about what I got coming up. We got tomorrow night, Let's Go Off-World. It's been a little cold outside. You guys may have noticed. So tomorrow night, all of us at Let's Go Off-World are going to be talking about our favorite Arctic themed toys.
Cool.
So naturally, I'm going to Hoth since we're going Off-World. Because I absolutely love that. So I'm going to be bringing that up a lot. So, yep, that's on the docket for tomorrow night. And then this Saturday night, you guys already know, we're going to be hanging out at the clubhouse. You might even see some familiar faces there. We're going to be opening up toys, just hanging out. You know, letting the week go, letting the work week go, decompressing and enjoying some toys, drinking some warm beverages, having a good time. And Alan, you were just about to tell us what that secret was?
Absolutely.